allow the two children to attend the budget every year.
It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay.
She
Off your mind.
like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. My ego diary politico, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. My ego don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we not talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. My egun don't come, oh yo yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Mayegun diary politico. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary Nayibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Mayegun máa wí. Àní adìyẹ. Máyégún máa wí. Adìyẹ sọ́ra yìí. Máyégún ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Máyégún máa wí. Adìyẹ sọ́ra yìí.
Máyégún ti dé. Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ, Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tó ń gba rìbá, Máyégún máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ra kì í. Máyégún ti dé. Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Máyégún Live. Thank you very much for joining us in the Temple of Truth tonight. Brethren, remember, as you are tuning in, remember to read beyond just the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Hear it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell all of them that Máyégún is back and Máyégún is live. If you have done that already, thank you. And brethren, tonight we are going to address the latest developments, this time around not from the contraption Nigeria, but from all the way from the US Congress that is showing interest in the ongoing religious killings, jihadist sponsored killings in Nigeria. It's been like that in the last 10 years at least. You have the National Assembly of Nigeria in the contraption, currently saddled with, the effort to try to shield a predator and other predators in their National Assembly. If they were not leaking the crack bomb of, the bomb crack of Tifnumbu as rubber stamp, they are there, right? Spending their time on frivolities, while millions of Nigerians have been subjected to an endless terrorism by these jihadists. So tonight, we are taking that on. And please, as you are joining me, remember, before you settle down, the ideal thing is for you to share this broadcast. Invite everyone that needs to be here. America or Americans, they are showing more interest in the extrajudicial killing or the religious, or what some other people call the ethnic cleansing of Christians in Nigeria. It is, it's kind of a topic that most people inside Nigeria who wants to be politically correct would rather, avoid. A topic where a lot of people will say they do not want to offend some certain people. I'm talking about the jihadists. But if you are from Nigeria and you are not living in denial of anything, you would at least remember or be in the know of the killings going on, especially in the middle belt part of the contraption. They've tried to make it look like it's an ethnic clashes. Sometimes they call it a farmers others clashes. But we all know there's nothing called farmers others clashes in the contraption. It is organized terrorism, where the Fulani terrorists in government are sponsoring the Fulani terrorists in the bush. And if you care to know, most of their victims, 99% of their victims in the middle belt part of Nigeria, including the Hausa land of part of Nigeria, their direct victims have always been Christians, just for the clarity. So it seems like there's been a coordinated effort in trying to reduce the population of Christians in northern part of Nigeria. You see, this religious persecution, which has come or become what you can call the state policy in that contraption, Others who want to be politically correct have tried to avoid it. Unfortunately for them, it seems that the cries of the victims of this state-sponsored terrorism against, Christians in Nigeria, their cries has sort of reached, far away U.S. Congress. So 2-3 days ago, the United States Congress organized an hearing, by the way, where some of the eyewitnesses, the victims of this organized terrorism in Nigeria, were invited to the U.S. Nigeria National Assembly won't touch it because they don't give a damn about, about you. So this is why we are going to go to the U.S. this hour again, just so you kind of get yourself up to date about what is going on. I am going to break this down as much as possible. Let's hear from the clergy or the bishop from Benue State that was invited, who gave succinct and clear, a detail of what they have been through in the last 10 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you this Archbishop of Makurdi.
I am Wilfred Anagbe, that appear here as the bishop, the Catholic Bishop of Makurdi Diocese, the capital of Benue State in Nigeria. I am the shepherd of one of the 4 dioceses, Catholic dioceses in Benue. We have others, Anglican, Methodist, and Pentecostals, which sort of the Benue State has a population of about 6.1 million people, 2 million of whom are those under my care as the bishop of the diocese. Benue State is about 98% Christian, with very few Muslims living in towns. Nigeria and eventually my diocese and the state of Benue have become, in recent years, one of the most dangerous and insecure places for Christians. Christians and Muslims are nearly evenly divided among Nigeria's large population of over 200 million persons. Islamist extremists are fiercely contesting the possession, control, and governing law of the land, especially in the country's northern and central regions, the latter of which is where Benue is located. There are constant ethnic, political, and religious conflicts over land and allegiance. Constitutionally, we are a secular country, but our unity has been fragile. Political and religious actions and even public speech have been carefully managed to avoid accusations of religious bias and political tensions. Today, the clear influence of Islamist extremists has changed the traditional social dynamics of tribe, ethnicity, religion, and the social status in Nigeria. Because just recently, at the beginning of the Ramadan fast, 12 states in northern Nigeria have declared closed schools so that they attend to this. And you can imagine which other country in the world does that. Saudi Arabia is not doing it. Afghanistan is not doing it. Baghdad is not doing it, but then Nigeria is practicing. What kind of Islam are they practicing? 12 states, and not only Muslims are living in these places. What happens with the educational program or curriculum of the country? But this is what we are going through every day in Nigeria. A long-term Islamic agenda to homogenize the population has been implemented over several presidencies through a strategy to reduce and eventually eliminate the Christian identity of half of the population. This strategy includes both violent and non-violent actions, such as the exclusion of Christians from positions of power and adoption of such church members, the raping of women, the killing and exploitation of Christians, the destruction of churches and farmlands of Christian farmers, followed by the occupation of such lands by the Fulani herders, and also changing the names of these villages. They are taking over the places, so you clearly see an expansionist approach and Islamic, and then they are making the people now flee and leave their villages, and they conquer it. The quest to Islamalize the land appears high on the agenda of some of the powerful and influential Muslims in Nigeria. There is a campaign to take land to spread Islam, and there is the hemorrhaging of Christian farmers from the central region of Nigeria and Benue State, and Makurdi Diocese in particular, as they are forced to abandon fertile lands that used to feed the nation. which classify Benue as the food basket of the nation. Militant Fulani herdsmen are terrorists destroying society. They steal and vandalize, they kill and boast about it. They kidnap and rape, and they enjoy total impunity from the elected authorities. None of them have been arrested and brought to justice. This is supported by the corrupt system in which we operate and the abject poverty among us, which allow the criminal to easily attract more recruits and prey on more victims. Why is this happening? Is it really a religious war? Like in the past, many jihadists are motivated less by religion than by spoils of war and use their religion to impose themselves. In my diocese, the spoils consist mainly of fertile, well-tended land organized around my parishes or so. The jihadists come and adopt and kill the priests, leaving thousands without support and basic human services. And of course, when they disperse the people, the inhabitants, or the citizens, or the people of the lands, they take over. And any attempt to go back and take care of your farms, surely you get killed. The Makurdi diocese in Benue State has been the epicenter of the invasion by these herders, who are more like hired guns of cattle oligarchies, who manipulate religion to rally the herders to eliminate the Christian population and cleanse the land in the name of Islam. This objective is behind the relentless attacks against Benue's villages. When we call for help to the police and the army, they do not come. At the end of 2024, several villages were warned by the attackers of the upcoming violence, and the leaders called the police for defense ahead of time. But they did not come, and the Christian massacres, almost customary, took place, killing hundreds in Plateau and Benue, with the worst massacre claiming 47 people. The militant also burned down the 8 Catholic churches of St. Mary's Parish in the Diocese of Boko, which in Benue State, as well as the parish house, clinics, schools, and other houses. The militant Fulani herdsmen bear on defenseless villagers without consequences. They follow orders to conquer, kill, and occupy. They attack even those who have managed to escape into our IDP camps. Thereby, they have no place to run to. And it is unfortunate that the police system in Nigeria, orders have to come from above. And such that once there's a call, and they say they have never responded. And by the time they arrive, these people have left, and the people are now living in the pool of their blood. What I have recounted above is happening not only in Benue State. I believe our experience in Benue is symptomatic of what is happening elsewhere in large parts of Nigeria. The experience of the Nigerian Christians today can be summed up as that of a church under Islamist extermination. It is frightening to live there. Apart from the violent campaigns and attacks against Christian villages, there are now attempts by the Islamic Council. I am Wilfred.
Thank you very much, Bishop. One of the things that they have succeeded, these Islamist, extremists, I call them terrorists. They have names. We know their sponsors. They are still those who are parading themselves as either Islamic leaders or political leaders from northern part of Nigeria, including those who are their enablers from across Nigeria, who want to say this is just tribal or ethnic clashes. It is not. In Nigeria, you have indigenous people who are indigenous because of their own affinity, relationship with their own land, ancestral connection to their lands. When APC, Egbekegbe, took power in Nigeria in 2015, the idea of their Islamization agenda, which is that of preaching violence, attack on the Christians and non-Muslims in particular. So in northern part of Nigeria, this ethnic cleansing, right, which is religious, it's got this religious connotation to it. Wherever, most of the villages, if not all, in northern part of Nigeria, before we even come straight to the middle belt part of Nigeria, most of the communities, villages, attacked and people slaughtered in northern part of Nigeria. Majority of them have been Christian, non-Muslim dominated communities. And for you to understand that it is a coordinated state-sponsored terrorism in Nigeria, rather than for the Nigerian government to actually protect, because that's their right. I mean, that's what they should have done, right? Protect everyone. It doesn't matter whether you're a Muslim or a Christian or somebody who has no religion. So in northern part of Nigeria, it's been a campaign of exterminating those who refuse to convert to Islam, their own type of Islam, to the point that when the Fulani terrorists came on board 10 years ago and started this killing spree, they targeted mostly the middle belt part of Nigeria, even though the core north is being, ravaged by different kind of Islamic terrorists like Lakurawa, Boko Haram, ISWAP, and others like them. But for the Fulani terrorists, their own agenda, right, is to drive further central, to drive further into the middle belt part of Nigeria. And they have turned most of this part of the middle belt part of Nigeria, especially Benue State. Benue State is adjudged to be, they used to call it Benue, a food basket of Nigeria. Today, Benue is now regarded as the graveyard center of Nigeria, where farms, places that used to be farms, right, are now partly occupying the corpses of those slaughtered by this Fulani terrorist. In southern Kaduna, same way, where El-Rufai, the Kaduna little finger, the man that should actually be standing trial, right, for terrorism, as well as crime against humanity, is today jumping from one place to the other, claiming to be rallying the opposition together to chase a man, the drug dealer that he also supported in bringing to power. Under Bokohari, the Fulani terrorists received what we can possibly call the license to kill. This license to kill, right, gave them so much, leverage in the middle belt part of Nigeria, where for you to really know that this is an organized attack on those Christians, especially in the middle belt part of Nigeria, there is records of, churches being burnt down, pastors being kidnapped and slaughtered, bishops, reverend fathers, church members, in this part of Nigeria. But guess what? None of this really moved the supposed people who swore to actually protect you when they took political office. Rather than go after these criminals, these terrorists, genuinely call them the terrorists as who they are, the states, Nigerian governments continue to shield them in places where people refuse to convert to their, Islam in that part of Nigeria. They are summarily executed, slaughtered. In fact, they will make you believe that northern Nigeria is an Islamic region when it is not. But they push that agenda, they push that idea for so long that even those of us from the southern part of Nigeria, we are being kind of like, socially conditioned to accept this means, this violence means of their supposed Islam in northern part of Nigeria. In fact, they have succeeded enough that, right, those of us from southern part of Nigeria are pretty much believed to be ruled by a different constitution, while those from the northern part of Nigeria are also being ruled or governed with a different constitution, even though it's just the same constitution we have in that contraption, right? Now, those who are Christians in the southern part of Nigeria, they have somehow been either bullied into not speaking up, because speaking up sometimes is considered as what they call like you are provoking them. So these murderous Islamic terrorists in northern part of Nigeria, they have the backing of those in government who indeed have been shielding them. Listen, whenever they are attacking these communities that are also Nigerians, so under Bokohari, the military, right, the police and others will tell you that order from above told them not to react to it. So innocent people, women, children, elderly, including the handicapped, the disabled, right, are slaughtered by this murderous terrorists. In Kaduna, when El-Rufai was their governor, in fact, the idea of changing the names of some communities to Islamic name or whatever Fulani name or whatever name that they choose. After they must have attacked these communities, chased the survivors away to the IDP camps, and these terrorists, they occupy these communities as well. I mean, they stay in the crime scene. The rest of the world watches, probably, the rest of the world just watches in horror. But in Nigeria, everything to placate and make these terrorists, these Islamic terrorists, right, to be comfortable is what those their sponsor in government have always been like promoting. Now, here is the other part of that presentation by this bishop. I have more to add myself, but watch this.
Christian villages, there are now attempts by the Islamic Council of Nigeria and various Islamic groups to impose Sharia law on the Christian populations. Already, 12 states in the north of Nigeria are under this sectarian religious law, and attempts to extend the same to the south of Nigeria, which they have started. This month, governors in the north decided appropriately to close all schools and education institutions during the months of Ramadan, leaving millions of students without learning opportunity for 5 weeks. We live in fear because at any point it can be our turn to be killed, but to remain silent is to die twice. So, I have chosen to speak. I speak on behalf of the millions who are in the camps. In Benue State, in Makurdi Diocese alone, in my diocese, I have about 9 camps. 9. On the 5th of March, which was Ash Wednesday, we visited one of the camps, and many of my priests and religious went to the other camps, distributed them to begin the Ash Wednesday with our faithful who are there, because we are the voice of the voiceless. We have to talk for the defenseless. We have to talk about the weak and those who cannot talk about themselves. In one of the camps called the Mega Camp, there were over 3,000 inmates of that camp, and which was a record given to us by government. I speak on behalf of them and those children who have no husband, who have no father, and even their own voices taken away by the politicians who promised to help them, but have become the willing tools of the jihadists because they are talking politically correct statements, looking for next elections to come. I speak on behalf of those whose loved ones have been killed, but no one has even offered a word of consolation to them. I speak on behalf of the thousands of young girls who have been adopted and raped because no one, not even the media, mentions them anymore. Foremost, I speak on behalf of my flock who are unable to worship freely and unable to return to their ancestral farms and homes because that land has been ruthlessly taken from them by the armed herdsmen. And where they say they want to live in peace with the natives, if you must farm, you have to pay tax to hire the land which belongs to you. That is slavery, to say the least about it. As prosperous Nigeria is in the African continent, and I tell you, if there's outbreak of war in Nigeria, no country around us, Chad, Niger, Ghana, Guinea, Togo, no country can contain the population that will flee to these places. No country can be able to house over 5 million refugees. It's not possible because of that. And if 1 million refugees run to Chad and Niger, they'll collapse that country because there'll be no plan to take care of them. So we have to be very careful. Today, I urge you all to use every means within your mandate to start developing a strong and good relationship with Nigeria, where you know that when you speak of human dignity, you are also speaking of the same God-given right you believe is unalienable. Consider that Nigeria can be your ally, but it cannot be one where half the population is in the process of being murderously eliminated. Work with us, the churches, and other Nigerians of goodwill. We are working for a peaceful and prosperous society, and our desperate plight has been set aside U.S. policy for too long, to the cost of thousands of lives. Concretely, I request and I plead, I ask you to redesignate Nigeria as a country of particular concern. This has both a practical and diplomatic meaning to signal that you are paying attention to what happens to us and elsewhere in the world. Because the policies the government is trying to put in place, so that to return the IDPs, build camps for them, relocate them from their homes, it is not durable and it will not work, because the government has already the population that is not able to take care of. And then you have over millions of people in the camps, and you want to relocate them to where? And if you do, let's take that you do. How many houses or rooms will you give me who has 5 children, another one has 3, another one has 2? And what will I be doing for a living? These people previously never begged anybody for food. They were managing their lives, training their children, and building their homes. So nobody should have deceived us on the guys that you're going to resettle the IDPs. They have no jobs. So where you set them, what will be their place? And by the way, the fundamental question remains, if you resettle them to other camps or build places for them, what happens with the ancestral lands? Who takes care of them? And this is whereby I feel the government is complacent on this issue. Because these terrorists, Fulanis, displace them, kill people, and then occupy the place, and then change names, nomenclatures of these towns. For what reason? So we want to let the people go back to their homes and help for them to rebuild their lives. I implore this august body to insist on the return and rehabilitation of all the IDPs to their ancestral lands, and not to relocate them to other constructed camps elsewhere, which is an invented solution now being pushed in the Benue State government. And I tell you, Nigeria government can do that once they have to be accountable. Because I know Nigeria, under the auspices of ECOMOG, was able to reinstate constitutional government in Sierra Leone and Liberia. And they can do that now. We have the capacity, but because the leaders that are not prepared. And I think that's whereby I look, it's not just, conspiracy of silence, it is aiding, abetting, and supporting these terrorists to keep doing their work. This is my plea. Thank you very much for this attention. Christian villages.
Bishop, again, to further add the context to what the bishop, presented to this, United States Congress on Foreign Affairs. They've been receiving reports of the persecution of Christians all over the world, and Nigeria came on top, where tens of thousands of people have been slaughtered. And that is their story. Their story is that of a story of people who are unfortunate supposedly in their own country, and the government of their own country is in bed with jihadists, terrorists, that will exterminate them, kill as many of them as possible, displace as many of them as possible, chase them away from their ancestral land and ancestral homes, chase them to some makeshift camps called IDP camps. Nigeria is not at war, they will tell you. Nigeria is not at war. Therefore, don't come and cause war in Nigeria, but tens of thousands of Nigerians are being slaughtered, right? Year in, year out. Nigerians are living in IDP camps, refugee camps. The word refugee, right, comes from, what do you call it? The combination of war or natural disasters. But in this case, Nigeria is not facing any natural disaster. The only disaster, which is a man-made disaster, is this terrorism sponsored, funded by APC. Egbekebe. Now, APC, Egbekebe, is responsible for the terrorism in Nigeria. And that is why, while the supposed Nigerians they swore to protect, right, are being chased, after being killed, others being chased into the refugee camps, okay? And with the impression that Nigeria is not at war. Nigeria is at war because the jihadists, the Islamic jihadists from northern Nigeria, the Fulani from Futajalon, Futagalon, at Futa Sorrow, Futa Sadness, who's the sponsor, have managed to, to leverage on power, right? These Fulani terrorists, right? They have been the only one that has waged war against the indigenous people of Nigeria. The people of the Middle Belt part of Nigeria, they have paid so much with their lives and blood, right? That the criminal government, the terrorist government of APC in Nigeria is actually promoting this jihadist, this terrorism, by encouraging people to leave their ancestral homes for a makeshift refugee camps, while the terrorists that chased them away from their homes have continued to occupy these communities. In southern Kaduna, where the Fulani terrorists killed the people of southern Kaduna for straight 8 years under this little finger, Kaduna little finger, El-Rufai, they succeeded in not only chasing the people away from their homes, from their communities, they also succeeded in changing the names of these communities. And what is the solution brought by the APC? They said we should learn to live with our killers. Yeah, they said we should stop, saying Fulani terrorists. We should call them artsmen. But we all know that the Bokohari's government did everything within its power to disarm the indigenous people when they used to, they used to have the capacity to defend themselves against this murderous Islamist, jihadist. You understand? They used to. But Bokohari's government came, they disarmed them. And those who failed to be disarmed were summarily arrested by the military, while the terrorists continued to roam everywhere, unhindered, non-stop. Today in Nigeria, again, this is just for all of you watching me. Okay, if you are watching me from southern part of Nigeria and somehow you are a product of a social conditioning, the ones that that wants to believe that the whole problem is being exaggerated simply because you have been programmed to feel that way. Let me tell you this. You see all this act of terrorism in northern part of Nigeria, as much as it is what puts Nigeria on the map as a terrorist capital of West Africa, right? Nevertheless, we believe, and in fact, factually, right, believes that if you look at their victims, they are mostly Christians. These Christian communities in northern part of Nigeria is what they have somehow like programmed to be wiped out totally. Like the bishop said, the supposed political class, because out of the 19 states from this political northern part of Nigeria, which includes the middle belt part of Nigeria, 12 of them is considered the Sharia states. The Sharia states, making it look like the people living there, they are Muslims. That is not true. The idea of their Sharia in the first place, they said, was going to be just for the Muslims. Today, we have had their stories of non-Muslims who have been like tried, sentenced to death, and others even stoned to death by their Sharia courts. The communities where people are like non-Muslims, so to say, they have not just only been subjected to like a second-class citizens in their own supposed country, indigenous people to this land, from Adamawa to Benue, from Adamawa to Sokoto, to Kano, to Kaduna, to Borno, to Kerbi, to Zamfara, to all these areas, they will make you believe that they are Islamic places, but they are not. Let me tell you something as well. You see, these 12 states from this core Sharia North, right? The Christians there are considered as second-class citizens to start with. They have no real rights, even though they have a fake constitution that says they are Nigerians and they have rights. They do not have any. In these areas, right, if you are a Christian, you do not have any political leverage as well. You dare not aspire to, to any higher political office in this Sharia North. Christians in these communities or in these states, they have been, rendered more or less like comatose, like they are nothing. And therefore, exposing them more to this terrorism of the Fulani, as well as others, terrorism in the northern part of Nigeria. So you do not have any right to hold any political office in this place if you are a Christian, even though you are a Nigerian, right? And indigenous to these areas, right? You do not have any right to. In some areas where people have been chased to the IDP camps, right? And those who survived, who stayed back, have been forced to pay taxes to these terrorists as well in Nigeria. Yes, you heard me right. Those communities that are currently being occupied by these terrorists, Nigerian government classify them as non-governed areas. Can you believe that? Non-governed areas are areas where terrorists have taken over, and Nigerian government has ceased to exist. I mean, they have ceased to exist in these areas. The lives and the destiny of all these Nigerians in this part of Nigeria now lies in the hands of their murderous jihadists, the Fulani terrorists, and other terrorists of like mind. So we were told that to learn to live with our killers, and our killers called us infidels. So as an infidel, you do not have any real life. And that is why some of them actually rose up and said they were shutting down schools because of Ramadan. Nigeria is meant to be a country of, all religions, right? Christians, Muslims, and non-Christian, non-Muslim alike, or whatever you choose to possibly be. But in the northern part of Nigeria, which is the idea that is now spreading, it has spread to the middle belt part of Nigeria. That is a place where you see like a belt is in the middle. So the middle beltans are like the armor, the shield for the rest of the southern part of Nigeria, holding back, this murderous Fulani terrorists, not much longer, right? Because they still managed to get down to the south, the southwest, the southeast, as well as the Niger Delta part of Nigeria. And they are doing one thing, just one single thing: attack people in their villages, chase them away until you chase them to the IDP camp, then occupy the land. This has been the modus operandi of these terrorists and their sponsor. And of course, their sponsor, Bokohari, is the chief sponsor of terrorism in Nigeria. He spent his 8 years compensating terrorists, rehabilitating terrorists. And the Nigerians who are their victims, they have been left in the lodge. They have been left on their own to go and fend for themselves, to the point that running away from your own lands to the IDP camps in Nigeria does not guarantee that they won't still come for you. These terrorists still went after those who escaped their gun, their bullets in their different communities. They still went after them by kidnapping their children, to rape them. Some of them sold as slaves. This is happening. And you may ask, what is Nigeria doing? If Nigeria claimed to be spending over, 100 billion naira a year rehabilitating terrorists, not prosecuting them, rehabilitating terrorists, because they swore by the Holy Quran that they won't do it again. Now, they have a system that rewards terrorism. And therefore, what is that reward for being a Nigerian? What is your reward, right, for being a Nigerian? A Nigerian that got attacked and chased away from his own homes, right, to the IDP camp. What is your own reward from your own government? Zilch, zero. So we implore those who are considering sanctioning Nigeria, because right now the U.S. Congress Committee on Foreign Affairs, listening to these horrible tales, right? They are currently recommending that Nigeria should be sanctioned. Well, I don't think sanctioning Nigeria should be the goal. There are individuals responsible. And I bet that, America, as sophisticated as America claimed to be, America will have all the information of this terrorist sponsor and those terrorist spokesperson, those who have been defending these terrorists at any given, fora. They should be sanctioned. The likes of El-Rufai not only should be sanctioned, El-Rufai should be held responsible for the death of tens of thousands of Southern Kadunas, people from Southern Kadunas who got slayed, who got killed by this terrorist sponsored by El-Rufai. He has a public confession saying he brought them back to Kaduna. Somebody like that should actually be issued an arrest warrant that will make him end up in the Hague. What about Bokohari? Muhammadu Bokohari, the terrorist Bokohari, the man that brought back terrorism, the man that came to legitimize terrorism in Nigeria, the lifeless mannequin, Bokohari, should also be sanctioned. And I'm talking about an indictment that will get them arrested. Now, sooner or later, those who are appealing to the US to do something, I know US can come to Nigeria to protect these indigenous people, right? But somehow, the way the old global village or the global politics or geopolitics actually works. Now, there is, there was this report from UAE, Dubai, where they did their own investigation on the people who were using, their foreign connection to raise funds for terrorists in Nigeria. And they released the names. They said, these are the terrorist sponsors in Nigeria, right? These guys were arrested in Dubai. They were locked up. That's those ones they found in Dubai. Others, based on their investigation as well, who are based in Nigeria, their names were forwarded to Nigerian government, and Nigerian government did nothing. So if anybody tells you that their Islamization agenda is not real, it is somebody who is probably living in denial. When you go to the up north, and you will see the wreck, the wreck and the havoc caused by these jihadists, these terrorists, something that they are trying to replicate in other parts of Nigeria as we speak, right? When you go to the north, when you see the number of their worship centers, churches burned down by these terrorists, and you get to take the list of, clergymen, kidnapped and slaughtered by these terrorists as well. Or you begin to take a stock of the names of, the stock of the people they kidnapped and then turned to their sex slaves in that contraption as well. All of this will tell you, what you probably are trying to what you are trying to pretend to not be aware of, right? So I do appreciate those who took it upon themselves, because they will still get the backlashes anyway, took it upon themselves to appear before that committee, because what you have done now is that you have told your stories, okay? As much as, America is seen as the police of the world, right? At the same time, if you have the same, if you have the same clout, I implore you to please add the names of the sponsor of the terrorism in Nigeria, including the clerics in northern part of Nigeria promoting these, killings and justifying these killings as well, because there are those in northern Nigeria that spends their time. I'm talking about clerics, yeah, these terrorist Islamic clerics in up north, okay, who actually preaches, in support of these killings, and at the same time, right, justifies the killings as well. So they ask people, they say, you either convert to Islam or you should just take whatever is coming your way. This is the reality today. So sanction against Nigeria may not really make any impact, but a sanction or different indictments of the people who are actually responsible. We have the likes of Malamun. Yes, Abubakar Malamun should be standing trial in the Hague for crimes against humanity and terrorism. Bokohari should be standing trial in the Hague, yeah, and then standing trial for sponsoring terrorism as well. El-Rufai, his own son and children, particularly, his children, they should pack all of them and take them to the Hague as well. Just recently, where they are doing the big bat of, El-Rufai leaving APC, Egbekegbe. One of El-Rufai's son tweeted this, right? Said, it is your stupid mother that is an elephant. And Southern Kaduna residents will keep seeing Shege if they continue to attack indigenous Fulani herdsmen. There is no indigenous Fulani herdsmen in Nigeria. This is the history that we must kind of continue to remind our own children. There is no any part of Nigeria, a piece of land. Fulanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. Fulanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. How they managed to squeeze themselves into the power equation of northern Nigeria is no longer a secret. We know how the British colonists or colonialists, how they inculcated this murderous tribe into the Nigerian political space and power space as well. There is no indigenous Fulani in any part of Nigeria. Maybe if they find their land to the Futajalon and Futasoro, maybe they will find their own people there. Until 1804, there was nowhere, anywhere in today's Nigeria where you will find any Fulani ever. Until 1804, there is nothing called Sultan of Sokoto. There is nothing called Emir of this or that until after 1804, when these terrorists carried out their first act of terrorism on the indigenous people of Hausa land, the indigenous people of what is today's northern Nigeria, right? And they succeeded in killing their leaders, the leaders of the Hausas and other indigenous leaders of that area. There is no Fulani land in Nigeria. Now, we must kind of say this to their faces so that those who wants to try and say, let us just accommodate them or, you know what have you, they needed to be taught a lesson, a lifetime lesson. Sultan of Sokoto is not from Nigeria. His forefather, they are from Futajalon. They do not have any ancestral land in anywhere, any part of Nigeria. So nobody should talk about indigenous Fulani, indigenous where? From where to where? It doesn't exist. Now, people can coexist if you can at least respect the indigenous people of these lands whose ancestors bled, toiled, sweated on the same land, and they were buried in this land. But to this El-Rufai and the people like him, this is one of the reasons why people are saying you should not be swayed. You should not fall another mugu of getting this evil man called El-Rufai close to power again. Now, people may have short memories, but it is good to remind you and remind everyone that cares to listen, right? The reason why the indigenous people continue to push for the breakup of this contraption is no other reason why, no other wise than the state-sponsored or the state-backed kind of Fulani terrorism in Nigeria. Now, before now, people will say it is because the guy in charge of Nigeria is a Fulani, that is a Bokohari. That was Bokohari. So what happened to a Yoruba man from Guinea? I'm not sure this guy is even a Yoruba, but let's just manage that. Because somebody like a Tifnumbu who also watches his own people, in quote, his own people being slaughtered by this Fulani terrorist. Yorubas are paying ransom to Fulani terrorists on their own land. Our own people are being kidnapped in their own land. And the supposed Yoruba man who is in charge of your contraption has no clue. And maybe because of power, like that bishop said, because of power, majority of them have grown to become politically correct, who do not want to offend their own godfathers, the Sultan of Sokoto and co. So to my people in the middle belt part of Nigeria, to all the bishops, all of you who have, who have one grave or the other to show as the atrocities committed by these terrorists, keep it on like that, okay? We know that a time is going to come, yeah, whereby if nothing is done, indeed, if nothing is done, then people would have to actually take the law into their own hands. And I promise you, nothing is going to be done. Nothing. They won't do anything, right? So it is high time for those of you who are Christians, right? Especially those of you who are Christians of the Christian Association of Nigeria to stop expecting any form of, succor or savior coming from these rogues who are complicit. The Nigerian government is complicit in this murderous campaign, even though these guys don't actually really believe in anything, Islam or Christianity or whatever, any religion at all. But if it gives them or gives them power, if it keeps them in power or gives them power, they can always look away. Fulani terrorists have wreaked so much havoc. They have attacked Nigeria's, indigenous people. They have attacked the Nigeria's core food basket. They have brought about economic ruin and hardship, plus terrorism, which is their modus operandi. They've brought ruins to the millions of people. And right now, the lives of millions of people inside that contraption is still in danger, courtesy of these Fulani terrorists. So whether they are pushing their Islamization agenda, Fulanization agenda, I urge you, those of you who have encountered them few times, to stop expecting people to come and save you. Nobody is going to come and save you to start with. No one is. So when you begin to defend yourself, when you begin to arm yourself, when you begin to confront them, because the only language I have been told, the only language that this Fulani terrorist actually recognizes is violence as well. So praying that something should happen or someone should come in and that is enough. Glad that you were able to go to the US to share this with people there. America may not really be able to do anything to save you. So it is high time that you stop looking forward to people to come and save you when indeed, as their Islamic jihadist leaders continue to mobilize and get them weapons, because they are getting them the weapons to attack all these indigenous people, right? So it is ideal for everybody to actually stand up on their own, defend yourselves, confront them. I mean, you know, wipe as many of them as possible off and stop, you know, expecting anybody to come and save you. Because right now, those who approaches your barn, approaches your home, approaches your farm with loaded guns, they are not coming in to negotiate with you. They are coming to kill you. And therefore, you shouldn't, for any reason, be seen giving, you know, speeches on how, you know, the peace or whatever it should be. No. I saw a video, right? To my viewers, okay? Let me give you an idea what it is like when these Fulani terrorists are after you. This is what it is like.
Why me like fire during Omila fanyo turatane ya paki dinne. Wallahi fanyo no dure. Dare yo. Wallahi dikari fanya. Bida no. Why mo to mamu ko tini.
España va la verde.
Ikari ala di norra. Rara ini tu di turun. Hanya angkat duna batu.
When you see any abobaku or any ronuku or a ronunazi that tells you that we should be preaching peace, we should be promoting peace, we shouldn't, you know, preach against this terrorist. You can easily tell. Why would you want to engage any ronuku for that matter? Why would you want to talk to a voluntary slave like that of the APC, Egbekegbe in the first place? The people of Uzo Owani, if I pronounce that right, Uzo Owani in Enugu, travelers who got attacked by the same Fulani terrorists. I mean, take a look at that, right? They will invade somebody's farm, destroy everything, you know, you have planted. If it's ripe enough for them to not only feed on the the cassava stem and what have you, it is also for them to actually like uproot the cassava and feed it to their cows. This is how they attacked the Nigerian, source of food production in the last 10 years. That contributed to the food crisis that Nigeria is facing. The poverty, which has also, enveloped the entire place. People used to be able to take care of themselves, no matter how tough or how hard the economy was, right? But when the Fulani terrorists jumped into the fray, they started destroying people's farms, people's livelihood. And if you dare challenge them, they will come back in the night when you and your family are fast asleep. In the middle of the night, the cowards will open fire and kill and burn until, those of you that survives will have to escape and find somewhere to go to. It has been the modus operandi for the past 10 years. It is still the same. There is no memo in that Nigeria security system or Nigeria security apparatus or what have you, where you can say things have changed right now. The Nigerian system is now protecting Nigerians and going after these terrorists. Rather, they will preach to you and tell you that they are your brothers. You are the same. So what happened is that if any Fulani destroy your farm, you should arrest them for them to pay compensation, right? Not only that they go into people's farms to destroy their farms and their livelihoods, they also go just right there on the road to kidnap travelers. And those who refused to stop to be kidnapped, they then get shot at, like what happened to these travelers yesterday in Uzo Owani, in Enugu State, by the way. Watch this.
More than how many bullets? More than how many bullets? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, more than how many bullets? No, go. 10 complete for years. This is almost bullets. AK-47. AK, see as in listen. Graças a Deus,
So, like, how are you going to explain that? Those ones lived to tell the story. And therefore, we can all have opinion on that. Many people don't live to tell the story. They don't. And it is deliberate. So they are Islamic jihadists or jihadism, which is the definition, their own definition of fighting for their Allah. Something that ordinarily they've told the rest of us we are just infidels. If you are not practicing their own style of Islam in that northern Nigeria, right? Then you are an infidel. And to them, an infidel does not deserve to live. An infidel cannot lead them. As an infidel, you can't be the president over them. You can't be governor over them. You can't lead them. Even if you are from the same country, allegedly, allegedly, it doesn't really matter to them. You are a fair game. And there is this mentality as well, which their political criminal leaders have somehow, right, ingrained in them. And that is, they are the owners of Nigeria. You and I are just tenants you and I, we are just tenants. Whether from the east, from the west, or wherever you are from, claim to be indigenous people to these areas, they don't give a damn about that. As they are using the, what do you call it? As they are using coercion, deceit, as well as monetary enticement to get some of those who are supposed to speak for me and you, to keep them shut while they kill us. The rest of theirs believes that it's just going to be a matter of time. So when Bokohari came with the idea of Ruga, the idea of Ruga was, or the idea of a waterway bill, was just to make sure that these Fulani terrorists and their wives are settled within the space of every part of Nigeria, especially the southern part, so that maybe in another few years, when they have the population that is up to maybe 10,000, 20,000, they can be given their own local government areas. And yes, they will create it. Give them local government areas and tell you that they are indigenous people to those lands. We fought that. We really, really fought that, even though it might look like nothing. I promise you, when Bokohari was making that plan, it was a perfect plan. They even recruited the Yorubas into it. They recruited the Igbos into it. They gave Hopeless Uzodimba in Imo State. They gave him $10 million to provide lands that will be used for Ruga in Imo State. They gave Obaino the same thing, $9.8 million in Anambra to give them land in Anambra. They gave some of these guys who actually collected the money in Yoruba land. They recruited Pastor Ruga, Ikene Shatabandu, to go and tell us how it is such a great idea that those who have their cows have no money to build or buy land to actually build their own ranches. So for peace to reign, the government will take the land from the indigenous people and give it to this murderous Fulani terrorists. But we fought it. Or we did fight it enough that those who collected money from Bokohari were not bold enough. They're not bold enough to deliver in that mandate. They are unable to. Even Hopeless Uzodimba that was shooting and killing his own people, bombing them. Yeah. In Olu, also, and all these places, bombing them for just to scare them away and get their lands and give it to the Fulanis. He is still unable to deliver until the end of Bokohari's tenure. So if you have a Yoruba man there right now, that is not a bastard, an Omuali in Yoruba land, he won't look away. The Fulani's advancement would have been dead by now. But they are more interested in power than the welfare of their own people or even the posterity, which is there to judge everybody at the end of the day. So when the bishops returned to Nigeria, well, maybe another set of bishops, Tifnumbu was with some of them earlier today in Ask Old Rock, by the way. And Kuka, that fake Reverend Kuka, was there himself to lead these mongrels to go and see Tifnumbu.
Mr. President, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic, President Bola Tinubu, Your Excellency, the Chief of Staff to Mr. President, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, the National...
They quickly called her together, where Gbajabiamule, as well as Teriba Dombu, and others were there to tell those cassock-wearing mongrels, right, that the story of the killings of Christians in Nigeria, I wanted to tell them that it's not that true. So they denied. And that's it. The security has improved. People, the terrorists have been chased away. So that's what we wanted to go and tell your flock. Go and tell all of them and tell them that it is not as bad as America is trying to sort of like present it. And that's it. After that story, you probably would never hear anything. And I feel so sorry for those who are direct victims of all of this, especially in the middle belt part of Nigeria and in the northern part of Nigeria. If you are not there, you won't understand. Like, they have coordinated terrorist attacks on worship centers. No joke. They are burning down. They are not burning down mosques. So they are burning down churches. They are burning down, what do you call it? Kidnapping reverend fathers, kidnapping pastors, and slaughtering them like it's nothing. That is their reality today. But for the likes of Kuka and others, very soon you will begin to see Kuka and that, and that Buffalo. What's his name again? Abdusalami Abubakar. That's, so you begin to see them soon going about, trying to look for peace. They will say, okay, come and sign peace deal for 2027 again. He's always there. So I feel sorry for all of you who are direct victims. And I really, really do wish that you are going to take your destinies into your own hands and stop waiting for people who don't give a damn about you. As it currently stands, if Tinubu wants power, APC is a jihadist party. Until APC is destroyed, there is no chance that the terrorism in Nigeria is going to die or reduce. It won't. As long as APC, Egbe holds power in that contraption, the terrorism in Nigeria is not stopping. That is a fact. Until then, I advise you, defend yourselves. Use everything you can or everything you can lay your hands on to defend yourselves. Fulani terrorists, they do not, you see, they say when you see swordsmen approach, what you do is that you draw your sword. You don't begin to read their poem. You do not begin to read what do you call it? You do not begin to read their speeches. You draw your sword as well. We are facing the same thing, especially in Yoruba land as well. We are, no doubt. But we have other people resisted them few times. And the only obstacle that people have faced in fighting or pushing back these Fulani terrorists, the only obstacle we have faced has been from the government. The same government that was supposed to protect us from this, murderous jihadist. The same government is on their side, and they are turning their guns on us. This is the reality today. And that is one thing that, when El-Rufai was jumping up and down, that they want to come and rescue you and blah, 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 blah. People who knows him very well and what he stands for, right? El-Rufai, well, they won't keep quiet. That's a plus, right? I want you to listen to this. To those of you who are from Kaduna and those of you who are not from Kaduna, okay? Watch this.
Imagine that the governor you're talking about is Nasir El-Rufai.
Oh yeah. Oh, I left out his name.
And
of course, yeah.
He's not a particularly nice specimen to discuss. But given the way that you frame the question, what do I think is reputation that he left with? I will answer you directly. Most Nigerians would ask him to account for Daddy Yatta. Daddy Yatta is a major critic of El-Rufai who has been missing for about 6 years. He's unaccounted for. And El-Rufai's children went on social media to imply that they knew what happened to him on Twitter.
Oh, wow.
Yes, that when he was moving his mandibles, he didn't know something was going to happen. Who says that for a young person, in respect of a young person with children and a family who has gone missing and cannot be accounted for? What kind of person who suckled on motherly lactation says that? Who has been brought up properly and whose father and mother are still alive and the parents say nothing? Yes, I am not talking here of somebody like the Agwa Adara, yes, who went for a meeting with the governor, ended up abducted and never returned. He was found dead.
That's beside Dadiata.
Yes, Agwam Adara.
Okay.
He went to see the governor. He never returned alive.
And this is documented.
Ask the people of Kajuru. Now, all of the massacres, now it's very interesting. Do you see, because I have been counting, it became quite evident that between the regime, the administration of El-Rufai and Obasani, something was wrong. There were no longer mass killings in Kaduna. So I started counting. And the gradient the diminution in terms of mass killings in Kaduna, in southern Kaduna in particular, is extraordinary. How is that so? It's not because our soldiers have kind of improved or we have more numbers or anything. How does a governor inflame a society so much that all you can do is count the killed and the missing and the decapitated? That is the question. And all of this thing, and so he wakes up today and he's comparing himself with Obieze Kwesele. And the last time I was with you, I told you how he plotted to have me in jail. And I have so many other people. My lawyer had to go to court. Doria Balasin had to go to court to get an expedited order to preserve her freedom while she was working on my case. Because El-Rufai wanted the backsides of both myself and my lawyer. And my lawyer was representing Audu Mekori, whom El-Rufai abducted from Lagos, took to Kaduna, and Audu nearly died. Audu got exiled as a result of that. Stephen Kefas, he abducted from Port Harcourt. And Stephen was kept in detention in Kaduna for over 6 months. Stephen nearly died. Rufai did all of this. I am naming names because I worked on all of these cases, quite apart from my own, which is still. Imagine that the governor you're talking about is.
That's the Rufire. A young man called Dadiata. Let me even see if I can get his image on this screen. Dadiata. Dadiata, like many others from Kaduna, they were the critic of the new governor. And on social media, Dadiata, one day, El-Rufire's goons, they showed up at this young man's gate in Kaduna, right? And they took him. I'll show you his face. It's called Dadiata. More than 6 years ago. He just had a baby who was just barely, months old. This young man has not been found since then. And indeed, El-Rufire's son, this mofo here, actually came on social media, right? And said, if people don't watch their mouth, what happened to Dadiata will repeat itself. Now, this is the family, this is the murderous family of El-Rufire, the Kaduna Little Finger. A man that I insist that if there's any action expected from the American government, if they can take action for real, it will be to issue an arrest warrant for this murderous El-Rufire. Seriously. I know some people who are suffering from the Stockholm syndrome, but I mean, those of you who have been following the political development in Nigeria, especially the killings in southern Kaduna, have you not noticed? A day after El-Rufire left Kaduna government house, is hired Fulani terrorists. Somehow, he just relocated out of southern Kaduna. They just relocated out of southern Kaduna. The killing just summarily just went down like that. El-Rufire went on TV and said, the killings in southern Kaduna is exaggerated because the Christians in southern Kaduna, they were collecting money, donations from abroad. That is why they do not want the fight to end. Meanwhile, it is the brain behind it. The effort is what? Decimate the population of Christians in that place as much as possible. Baba, this guy also killed the paramount ruler, a paramount ruler of this Adara kingdom. I did a program on that severally. The man was invited by El-Rufai to Kaduna government house. When the man got to Kaduna, El-Rufai kept him waiting. The man was there for hours until evening. They now said, El-Rufai Nko is not around, and they would have to reschedule the meeting, that the man should go back to his kingdom in Adara, Juru. Adara of Adara kingdom, and his wife and his driver decided to travel down to his own kingdom and probably reschedule the meeting with El-Rufai. He never made it home. You know what they did to the man? The Fulani terrorists ambushed him just close to his kingdom, right? They kidnapped him, kidnapped his wife, raped his wife. Then they killed him. When they killed him, a whole paramount ruler, it's like saying Oba of Lagos, or Alaafin of Oyo, or Alake of Egba in Yoruba, or Obi of Onitsha, of that caliber. That's who Adara was. So they slaughtered him, the Fulanis, and they now dropped his naked body. He was naked. Sorry. He was naked. They dumped his body in a footpath close to his kingdom. And they said that in Fulani's sort of culture or tradition, right? It is their way of showing supremacy to the people they are about to slaughter. I'm talking about if they can kill your king. If they can kill your king or kill your whatever word. They believe that they have actually like psychologically or spiritually, they have killed you, the people. The same Fulani terrorists came to Yoruba land. They killed 3 Obas in Yoruba land in a space of 3 days. And there was no reaction, no kind of like, no, nothing. And that is why there is no difference today from what Bokohari represented to what Tinubu is currently representing. It is still the same APC, Egbekegbe, the murderous APC, Egbekegbe. And we are not just mentioning the problems, we are also naming and shaming those responsible. Here is what, in this state of things right now, here is what Obieze Kwesili had to say about the state capture that Nigeria currently is wallowing in. Maybe you should watch this too.
The first thing they did was to assault all the systems of governance so that they could capture the state. So we're in a state capture situation. The politicians are the criminal enterprise gang.
Politicians.
We need to admit it.
Are they part of a specific political party?
No, they look, I've said it. All you need to do is to take a Nigerian politician and just with evidence, because you know me, I always say that in God we trust. Every other person must bring data. So take each of the prominent Nigerian politicians and map their user journey in terms of which political affiliations have they had since the turn of our democracy. And you would find that you can't place them. You can't put them in some ideological, platform because they don't have any. So these guys are migratory fellows who have tasted all kinds of political platforms. These are just platforms. They are for convenience. And so when I talk about the political class of Nigeria, I always stress that we don't have a political party problem. We have a political class problem. They are an undifferentiated breed of people who always find common ground. They are bound by the culture, the political culture of subordinating the common good of society to their own interests. And so whether it's their individual interests or their collective interests, when they find that fusion, what you see is brigandage behavior. So we do have to admit this. I have said this so often, and then, you know, some Nigerians initially quarreled with it when I would say, come on, guys, you know, we've got the two dominant parties. I called them many years ago. I said that they are the twin Siamese, the Siamese twins of bad governance. Yeah. And some of them were so upset. They were trying to prove that they are so different. But there's no difference. And so the mental and the political culture that they have shown is that nothing is sacred. And therefore, our judiciary has suffered assault from all ends of the political spectrum because the only thing that drives them is to access power just for the sake of power. Look at us as a country. We go from one election cycle to another with nothing in between. Like, they actually do not feel any sense of remorse. That what did we, what was the, let's even say, incremental progress that was made between one time and the other? And there is no consequence for it. So in that kind of a political context, it was bound to happen that they began to look at the rest of society as a bunch of, you know, stupid people who cannot do anything to us. The behavior we saw them put up at the Senate, in this whole saga that we've witnessed, shows clearly an absolute contempt for the Nigerian people. The first,
they have so much contempt for the Nigerian people, and indeed, they probably just look at the bunch of you as stupid people. Foolish people. They can scream, they can cry, they can say all manner of things, but they cannot, for any reason, take us up on our shenanigans. No. That is the symptom of state capture. A place where you have no idea if you are a citizen or not. Because you are not a citizen for real. You know? Citizens have rights. The rights that politicians, as mad as they can be, dare not trample on or trample upon. But in that Nigeria, there is actually no limitation, no, what do you call that thing again? Statute of limitation or something like that, you know, where they can say, don't cross this, so we can get away with a lot of things, but we can't try this. So once the people get wind of it, it's not going to be funny. There is no limitation. No. And that makes it more like the people are doomed. You know? That's what it feels like, though. Maybe it is. Because of our time, let's go to River State, okay? Asari Dokudumb, Asari Doku Pig, who is now a king. You can call him King Asari Dokudumb or Asari Doku Pig, has waded into the latest brouhaha between Werewike, Fubara, and the Martin Amawule's State House of Assembly. Brethren, remember that the Supreme Court of Injustice ruled that seamless, simpleton Fubara should go and resubmit the 2025 budget to the State House of Assembly. And he went there. He was there yesterday, was it? Where he was pretty much like, fenced out. Now, Fubara wrote another letter to this same assembly and said, listen, I want to come back again to present this budget to you as directed by the Supreme Court. So rather than the House of Assembly to possibly respond and say, okay, yeah, come in so time or don't come. They just gave out a statement that they have now adjourned sitting, signed dying. Signed dying. Is that the right word? Signed dying? I mean, signed dying, which means indefinitely. Meaning they are not going to sit again until further notice. Meanwhile, the same House of Assembly has also issued a letter to the DSS calling on them to investigate the Chief Justice of Rivers State. Now, here is what some people have to say. They said, normally if you want to impeach a governor, right, you are going to need the Chief Justice of the state that will constitute a committee of 7 people. This committee of 7 people, they would have to be the ones to listen to, the allegation against the governor. And once they give their go-ahead and say, he's guilty, the State House of Assembly can then go ahead and remove the governor. But somehow, the people from Seamless Fubara's camp says that Werewike approached the Chief Justice of Rivers State, promised him some goodies, money, wealth, houses in America, in London, and all that, if he can play ball. But somehow, they said the guy is on the side of Seamless Simpleton Fubara. Now, that is like a game changer. So what they need right now is to get the guy removed. So they said that the Chief Justice of Rivers State forged his birth certificate, meaning he forged his age. And they want the DSS to arrest him for that, so that they can possibly appoint another Chief Justice or something, an acting one or what have you. So to, what's his name again? Yeah, to Asari Dokudumb. The only Ijaw man to be governor of Rivers State in 24 years is about to be removed, according to him, by the Igbos. According to the Asari Dokudumb, he said, since 1999, Igbos have been ruling Rivers State. And the first time an Ijaw man is ruling, they want to remove him. In his word, though, not my word, though, his words.
Ijaw nation. For 24 years, Igbos were ruling Rivers State. 24 full years. Ijaw people carried the power that was in their hand and gave to Igbo people. Yes, that magnanimity. Instead of paying back, saying that, they gave us power, they gave power to Odili. Odili gave to Amechi and Omeya. And that one, they went and brought the Rottweiler that has gone mad. He's suffering from rabies.
So Werewike, according to Asari, is Igbo. Amechi is Igbo. Celestine Omehia, Igbo. Peter Odili, Igbo. And now that Amechi and others, they brought this Rottweiler that is suffering from rabies bite. That is Werewike. You know? Remove this Ijaw man and see what is going to happen. Even at the song, the one I saw earlier, I was like, damn it. Okay, I'll play it for you. Asari. you no go fit fight you, surrender. That's what they are singing. Wike, you no go fit fight you, surrender. Surrender to Fubara. You know? On the other hand, a guy that is acclaimed representative is one of the people that benefited from Wike's largesse to become a lawmaker in Abuja. His own message to Wike on top this insult on the Igbos, because it is now like Igbo versus Ikwere, and everybody is throwing every mob that they can throw, mud slinging that they can spread, and right now it is like the Wike's side, they are actually losing. I mean, you know, it keeps swinging and swinging, you know. So the Supreme Court of Injustice judgments has brought so much confusion on how this is to be handled, by the way, all right? Just remember those cases they had in court. Yeah, the ones to shoot, I mean, the ones on if these guys actually decamped or not, if their seats are vacant or not. Because of this Supreme Court of Injustice judgment, right? Their lawyers have withdrawn the cases. They say, it doesn't matter anymore. Supreme Court don't talk, say, you are the authentic lawmakers. Then why did they have to shut down the assembly? I don't know. It's like it's not going according to plan. So when Wike called out the Igbos, that they are minority. For the record, the Igbos, they are the fourth biggest ethnic nationality in Nigeria. Seriously. You have the Hausas, you have the Yorubas, you have the Igbos, then you have the Igbos. The Igbos are the majority in what is today's Niger Delta to start with, from Bayelsa to the same rivers, right? And then if you go to other parts of the Niger Delta of this contraption, you will see the Igbos in Ondo. You will see, I think Shore is Igbo, Abi. I think Shore is Igbo or partly Igbo. I don't know. Anyway, you see the Igbos in Ondo. You see the Igbos in Delta. You see the Igbos in Akwa Ibom. You see the Igbos in where again? No, they are majority in Bayelsa and they are majority in Rivers State as well. So when Wike said the Igbos are minority, he intentionally was actually taking a piece. No, he was taking a piece. You know? But here is what that guy feels.
For purpose of clarity, let me say this and for record purpose. If Backlash was around yesterday, we know what Backlash would have said. But let me say, I'm not for Backlash, I cannot be for Backlash. But let me say this. That the Igbos in Delta State are not minority. We are not, and we cannot be minority in Delta State. Yeah. The Igbos in Rivers State are not minority. We have 10 local governments in Rivers State, so we are not minority. And we cannot be minority. Before the balkanization of Rivers and Bayelsa, the Igbos have occupied governorship twice there in Rivers State. So we are in a position of comfort to aspire for governorship position and we will get it. For Delta State, when our time comes, it will come. It will come. So for record, let me put it on record that the Igbos are not minority in Delta and they are not minority in Rivers State. That's how we said, I want to thank everybody that have come here today. It's part of my comment and to also see good vote of thanks. We want to thank our brothers from APC, led by the chairman, Sekebia Moni, Imieka Do, For times like this, shows that we can still be two people outside politics.
Yes.
We can still be one outside the PDP and APC and SPT. We can. Today, we have shown that outside the conventional politics, we can come together to celebrate our own.
Our family.
So, Sekemia Money, your APC people that are here, we thank all of you. Alapi, where's Alapi? We thank you. Alapi, we thank you very much. SDP people that are here, we thank all of you. Labour Party that are here will thank you. We will thank SDP. Then our PDP people, led by the territorial chairman, supported by our PhD, Sam Odogun, will thank all of you for coming. And we must thank profoundly the man that led the delegation all the way from Warri and Abuja to Takodo. Right Honorable P.Y. Biakpara. So the BSF will thank you, go there, sir. And the...
You know, one of the injustice done to the indigenous people in that contraption by the Fulani oligarchs that created states in Nigeria. Let me kind of tell you some of them. You've heard about the Berlin Wall. Oh, sorry, the Berlin Conference, rather, not Berlin Wall. Berlin Conference of 1882. What's that? Okay, 1880s, right? Where the, the Portuguese, the British, the French, the Belgians, the Germans, all of them, they met in Berlin, Germany. And their summit was not about Europe, their own continent. Their summit was about Africa, the newly discovered gold mine, how they were going to share this beautiful continent among themselves without having to fight war for it. That was what prompted that Berlin conference. And they put down they put down the map of Africa that they have drawn. And in that map, right, everybody just had to from King Leopold and others, right? Everybody just had to stand on the side they want to control. I'll take this side. You take that side. Others will take this side. And all of that stuff. So that's how they shared Africa. That's how they didn't care whether the people they are drawing the lines on, like you see, you have a map. Inside that's your map. There's no map. You're actually drawing it. So you're drawing a map. And you're like, I'll draw a line here. You didn't know that, you see this line that you are putting on here. You're actually cutting brothers from brothers, dividing them, only to now raise a continent of different languages because of colonization. You get that now? That is exactly what the Fulanis did in Nigeria. The Fulanis, when they were creating states, in their own right, they were actually intentional, okay? Because it was after, it was after the genocidal war of 1967 to 1970. So they were so scared of the Igbos. So scared of the Igbos. I mean, I've been trying to understand though, right? They were so scared of the Igbos that despite the fact that Nigeria just committed a genocide against these Igbos, where millions died, but they were so afraid of them that they were like, we can't let them regroup. So we need to break this country apart enough that we are going to create Igbo states. But we are also going to make sure that they do not really have all of their people in one place. Do you understand? Like they can't have all their people in one place. So they started drawing what they call states. And they are cutting the Igbos. They cut them into Akwa Ibom, cut them into Delta, cut them into Rivers, cut them into... Now, they cut them into all these places to make them... So that you see those Igbos, in those places they have created states, they will make them minority. While the main Atlant Igbo land, right, is drawn in such a way that it is going to be so small. Fulani will not get any indigenous connection to Nigeria. They were the ones who came to break up Nigeria into states. And they succeeded. Today, in some of this Niger Delta place, right, you will see real Igbos who are speaking Igbos, whose names are Igbos. They will tell you that they are not Igbos. I'm not Igbo, I'm Ikon. I'm not Igbo, I'm telling you. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. You're fine, it's all right. Uche Chuku. It's okay, you are not Igbo. You are what? Again, I am Ika, I'm Ika. I say, oh yeah, you are Ika. Great. I'm Ijebu, and I'm also Yoruba. So you can be Ika, you can also be Igbo. No. I'm not Igbo. Don't try to call me Igbo. So they succeeded. The Fulani terrorists, and their leaders, they succeeded in putting and drawing this line in dividing brothers from brothers, sisters from sisters, and for a day like this, so that if for any reason they will never be united enough to say we want to be on our own. That's what you are witnessing right now, right? So when Asari said Peter Odili is Igbo, Rotifmi Amechi is Igbo, Wirewike is Igbo, I'm like, okay, I wouldn't mind to hear from these guys themselves. You know what I mean? I wouldn't mind to hear from them, because they continue to remind you that they are not. On the other side, the Asawana Wana, they themselves have also entered the bush again. This time, it's a message for Wirewike.
Nami, Commander, no good advice. Now we Nigerian grand fighters. You come outside today because it's something that make us come outside. And what make us come outside in our state, River State. And this River State will be our state too. We're not going to live for anybody. Sim don't give us peace for River State. But some people say they don't want that peace. Yes. As you see also, we get joy. No. Asawana, we don't get joy. We didn't start creed before. But today, Sim say, we could come outside, come make the state day in order. But one person say no go agree. When he mean they disturb him? No. When he mean they worry him? No. He never stand up as. None has seen time. Now you know you ask him to rule the state in peace. So now they seize our location. If they don't release those money, that location no PM. We, Nigerian grand fighters, we go vandalize every pipeline. All the government go vandalize that for River State. Peace no good day. Asawana. Federal government should call Wike in order, or else they go hear from us. Asawana. Listen me now. Boo. Tala.
Start banking for this state. No banking. Federal government no.
Somebody said I give too much credit to this Fulanese. You know, sometimes it's if you go and look at it very well, right? Sometimes it is like the Fulanese that reshaped the trajectory of Nigeria. Did they do it alone? Of course they didn't do it alone. Do you understand? But we give them the credit for it. If you have been following the power dynamism and what have you, or the power dynamic as they call it, in the last 60 years of that contraption, you will realize that over time, maybe because, like I said, that they didn't do it alone, they had other people, including the colonialists. But there is something I want you to know, that the fear of the Igbos, which started from as far back as the 1930s, is something that's on record, and I'm not making this up. On record, the early birds who are like the Fulani leaders, including the Sadauna of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello is a Fulani. And for years, it was their political leader, northern political leader, like the leader of all their leaders, okay? And he was also their spiritual leaders too. He was also a spiritual leader. So which means after they conquer the Hausas, and then they replace their Hausa kings with emirs and sultan, right? From that moment on, every tribe, the majority, the minority in this part of that contraption, they were subjected to the rulership of the Sardauna of Sokoto. A man that they wanted to make a sultan, and he said, no, he didn't want to be a sultan. So he remained a spiritual leader in that regard, the Sardauna of Sokoto. He publicly said or confessed to his personal hatred towards the Igbos. There's a video of that online. You can watch it. So the war, the genocidal war that Gowon orchestrated, it wasn't just Gowon. Gowon went to Ghana in Aburi. He agreed to all the gentlemen agreements that could have prevented any form of a bloodbath or war. But when he got back to the contraption Nigeria, the likes of Muritala Muhammad and others like him, who staged a counter coup after the January 15, 1967 coup, sorry, the 66 coup. The counter coup in July of that same year was meant to be a revenge coup that could have broken up Nigeria into pieces until they were advised otherwise, and Gowon was nominated to be the head. So when you go and check the idea behind the counter coup, as well as the program that followed, and up to today, the reason why they said they would continue to fear the Igbos and make sure that the Igbos never have any access to power in Nigeria was because they said they killed their leaders. The begotten Sardauna of Sokoto, Ahmadu Bello, right, who was killed like a common dog at the time. The revenge of his death is one of the reasons why they had to go and, started that genocidal war. And even at that, if you kind of read all about the war as well, you can tell that the war was driven by hatred for the Igbos. It wasn't about Nigeria. It wasn't about making Nigeria one. No. It was driven. It was driven. If you see how the whole war was carried out, it was driven by that spirit of hatred. And indeed, like Gowon told Ojukwu, if you declare Biafra, I am going to declare and create core states, Cross River, Ogoja, and Rivers. These were supposed to be eastern part of Nigeria, but at the same time, right, it is also populated by countless number of ethnic nationalities, Igbos, Yorubas, and others like that. But they are part of the old eastern region. So what did Gowon do? When they started the first creation, they created 12 states, right? But the state they created, there was never a single referendum to say, okay, these people want to be part of this or they want to be part of that. No. But who are those behind that? Other than the Muritalas and co. So I'm not giving the Fulanis too much credit. I am actually giving them the real credit for what they did with Nigeria. Dividing brothers from brothers, sisters from sisters, to achieve a common divisive goal in the future where people will never agree that they are the same, ever. That's just what I'm pointing out. And that changed the trajectory of that contraption till today. It's intentional. It's similar to when, that's why I use the Berlin conference as an example. I am a Yoruba man, right? But I do have other Yoruba brothers and sisters from Ghana, Yorubas who are also like indigenous, right, to Benin Republic. They are Yorubas. If the Berlin conference drawing of the map and all of you, if the people were consulted, before then, right? Those Yorubas in Benin Republic will be part of the Yoruba land in part of Nigeria today. That's the point I'm trying to make. So the Fulanis orchestrated the change in our trajectory. They didn't do it alone, no doubt. They didn't. But they created all the states. Or have you noticed any Southerner that created any states in the history of Nigeria? Any? Because I remember Gowon started it. Abi? After Gowon, who else created states? I think it was Babangida. After Babangida, it was Abacha. These are Fulanis. Apart from Gowon. So Asawana, Wana. So we are looking forward to when the new game or new card is going to be played. Yeah. In this issue of rivers. I am following it. And I implore you to at the same time. Okay. So I saw a video of Obi in Ihiala today. Again. Some said that some of these children will be 18 by 2027. And these are the new generation of the obedient. And I want to believe it.
Investment is critical to our development. It's very important for our development. We can't build a new Nigeria. We can't build a Nigeria where people will be happy to live if we do not invest in health, education, and pulling people out of poverty. And if we're going to pull people out of poverty, people like me must sacrifice. And that's why I told myself, I can always send father, check, send him money, you know, I visit a secondary school now. Like I told them, I don't need to go there. And what are important things, I can stay in my house and be eating and drinking. But seeing you inspires me to say, we can't leave these children, we can't leave these young ones on this. We must build a better place.
Good afternoon.
My time is up. And I'm thinking of taking calls tonight. So we shall go on a short break, right? Somebody just said that Muritala is not a Fulani. It wasn't a Fulani. That is Hausa plus another kind of a tribe. Okay. We'll take that. So I'm going to go on a short break. If you are still going to be here or you want to be part of the chat, you have the phone. The line will be opened in another 2 minutes when I come back. But if you have to leave, right, if you have to go, you should try and like the broadcast if you haven't already. And yeah, subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't. I'll be back in a minute or two, okay? I couldn't really fold this agbada. It just keeps sliding and sliding away and all that. So I'm going to take it off. So I'll be back in a minute or two. Don't go anywhere yet. Thank you very much, brethren. Now we are in the segment of phoniness segments, okay? So I have my first caller on the line, and I bet this is Jeff. Is that you, bro?
Yeah, so make I sing Abadu Ewa and speak it. That your Abada good, oh.
I know,
Your
it's
Abada
just so
good,
slippery,
now.
so slippery. Like I couldn't like hold it. That makes it
Oh my God!
tedious.
Oh my God! That is real. That's real. The Yoruba fire. No mind you. I won't find your trouble small. And he dig well. He dig well. As he did, he fold out twice for the left and fold out twice for the right. You know what I mean?
I go need pain to hold on. I don't go lie you, Jeff. It was that much. I use all technique to hold it, but nah, it's not holding.
It's not working. But you're looking good. You're looking good.
Thank you.
You're looking good. Nothing to you.
How you doing, Baba?
All right.
Jeff.
Oh, I'm doing great. So yeah, I see your topic today: American Congress proves Christian killings in Nigeria. You see, last, the whole world.
National Assembly to care much about the people that are being slaughtered. They would rather be politically correct and talk about other like useless stuff that had no real value. So yeah, I'm glad
exactly.
and funny, yeah, go on.
Sorry, and funny enough, the whole world is watching this. People have been saying something. Look, Trump might have his issues, but people are speaking. And people are seeing the carnage. So it's left for Nigeria to work on their image system and realize that, look, man, it's no longer business as usual. Now, to my fellow brothers who are Muslims, doing Muslim, is it Muslim ticket? I beg my respect to my brothers who they felt when they will do it, they will just corner the Christians and put them for one box and do the Christians anyhow. But as you can see, it doesn't make any difference. Everybody is suffering in the market and everything. And they felt maybe, they will just pass some agenda. Remember, don't even forget too that there was a time they were trying to do this Sharia, pass the Sharia bill on the National Assembly. They tried to do it. We all discussed this thing here. And I'm like, who have been stopping our fellow Muslim brothers from practicing what they need to do? But they feel that if they put it in the constitution, so that means they can be able to do as they please. But I thank God at least they were able to stop them there. But at the end of the day, it's still not going to end because some things need to be addressed seriously.
It's going to be agenda. So.
I'm telling you, yes. And our fellow senators have been lying. Our Nigerian government have been lying about the whole situation. I say, it's a lie. But of course, you cannot deceive people too much. Then another thing I want to discuss about, I don't know if you guys have discussed already, regarding Senator Abaribe.
Oh.
Have you discussed that today?
No, we haven't.
Okay,
on that?
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, yeah. So basically, what happened? I saw the news flash that Senator Abaribe was actually upset that, in fact, he was like, look, let us release Nnamdi Kanu. What is the justification of holding him? You are holding somebody and calling him a terrorist. Meanwhile, the people that have been terrorizing citizens of Nigeria in the name of Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, and co., they have been reintegrating them into the system and be given a honorary award, and nothing seems to happen to them. Nothing is happening to them. They are the untouchables. And I'm like, wow, look at the way they are really rewarding mediocrity. And then, of course, in the so-called law court that the Nigerian government has, you cannot even be able to even uphold the small law we get in terms of handling Nnamdi Kanu's case. So at the end of the day, Nnamdi Kanu is a saint as far as Nigeria is concerned. They have no justification of holding him.
Anyway,
They are scared. And what they,
Go on.
Sorry, they are actually scared, and whatever they are scared about is still going to catch up with them if they don't do the right thing.
Time shall tell. Thank you so much, Jeff.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot one thing before I go. Please, let me just say this very brief. So, I think apart from that, I want to appreciate the fact that you also spoke about in depth about the motive of why the Nigerian Civil War happened, that division tendencies, and how it has made us separate ourselves.
Yes.
And yet, unfortunately, we have not really learned from anything. If you know what I mean, we are being divided, and we don't know we are being played. I wish there's a way.
Those who projected that, I say, you know what? We We have to make sure that we create state, okay? And the state we are going to create, we don't even have to ask the people that will stay in those states if they want to.
Exactly.
Let's just divide this, divide that, and put the Igbos here, put the Ijaws there, put this one here, and all of that. It was like a masterpiece, because at the end of the day today, they don't even have to say anything. People are already fighting or facing what they call the identity crisis today.
Exactly. We don't even know what they are. Exactly. Yeah.
So it worked.
And it's unfortunate.
I know.
But well, let's see how it goes, sure. Then make her take a bar as usual.
Thank you very much,
best,
Jeff. You enjoy the rest of the evening, okay? Let me speak to Stanley. Hello there.
Yeah, my brother.
Yes, sir. How are you?
I'm very, very well. I'm very fine.
Grand.
How are you?
I'm very well too. Thanks for asking.
My goodness. Wow. To be honest with you, I've never been a supporter of disintegration of the country, but at this point, I think Nigeria should disintegrate.
Tell us what changed your mind.
No, to be honest, I've always known the history of Nigeria right from inception. You know, all this information you have, I already have them. I knew them as a child, growing up as a child, reading books and all that. So sometimes it amazes me that a Yoruba man actually know this history very, very, very well. I'm surprised. But still, if you open some comments and you still see people, you know, maybe some other platforms, you still see people make some comments regarding these things. You see, I think everybody should come out real and be factual about anything we do. People should not, you see, I told you something.
You shouldn't undermine or downplay the effects of social conditioning. Remember that in that place, right? We were so conditioned in a certain way. Depends on where you grew up. Like we're conditioned, right, to never be so straightforward and honest. We're conditioned that way. Some people choose to be politically correct about it. But you see, these days, Nigeria is a place that is giving and will continue to give. These days, people can now see through the whole lies. So your decision may be about let's fight and make it work, or let's go our separate ways. Nobody who knows the truth want to keep living the lie anymore. So that's where we are now. For those who care to, you know.
Honestly, this is getting out of hand. The way, look at what you talked about, Ozowani and all that. I grew up in Enugu as well. I know these places, you know. You see, but like the only solution, you said it here. I don't know why Nigerians are waiting for. If, for example, if you meet a lion, okay, or a cobra, if you pursue a cobra or a lion and it's running away from you, at a point it will stop and it will not relent until it gets back and fight you. So I think the best solution is for the people to fight back. That is the only thing.
That's a universal kind of like of a thing, right? That if you have a chance to defend yourself, self-defense is a universal sort of a thing. But in Nigeria,
and you know that Abraham Lincoln,
especially, Stanley, the Christians in Nigeria especially, who have been conditioned to keep praying and praying and praying. They have no idea that terrorists only understand one thing: fire for fire.
Fire for fire. Abraham Lincoln once said, "If you want peace, prepare for war."
That's right.
So I think the only way,
if you see a sword man, draw your sword.
Yes.
Don't sing.
Exactly. Exactly. The moment these Christians start fighting back and slaughtering them as well, you see there will be a peace talk. There will be peace talk. There will be peace talk. This nonsense will stop. How can you go to somebody's farm? I just watch what you put here. Go to somebody's farm, take away. Oh my God!
Somebody's sweat. Somebody's sweat. Feed it to your
cows.
So much impunity as well, right?
Something needs to be done.
Push back in the name of
something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. All these people that they will come out on TV and they will be shouting that they are killing us. We should stop doing this keyboard warrior thing. Go and face them. They will come in the night and you should have security. When they come in the night, you face them. They will run away. These people are minorities.
Stanley, thank you so much, man. Let me take another one.
Thank you, my brother.
You take it easy, man. Okay, you have a good one. This is the Prince JJ Man, representing IPOB
For life.
For life. That is it. Prince Jejeman, how are you doing today, Baba?
Baba, I'm fine, though. Are you?
Well, I'm surviving, you know. Can't complain.
Baba, you look great, oh. You look great.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Welcome.
They send them to me.
Welcome back from America.
Thank you. The Prince.
In fact, that year teller deserve award. We need his number.
You never see. If you see some specially made agbada where they made for me, I'm looking for a special day. I'm going to put it on. And I go like, wow.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it cost me a fortune.
In fact, you give us a number for Temple of Truth so that you get many customers.
That's fine. I mean, they should be giving me free. They should be giving me this for free so that I can, you know, help them advertise it to people.
Exactly.
You know,
exactly.
Country hard, right?
Yeah.
So people can't be giving me free 100,000 naira, you know, dress like that. I think country too hard for them. But we shall see. The Prince.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much for calling in. Please go on.
Thank you, Baba. I've been away for some time, you know, here and there. I thank God I have the opportunity to greet the house today.
Such a pleasure to have you back.
Yeah, Baba, just a quick one. Right. You see, our people are in danger, seriously in danger. Nigeria will disintegrate, but the truth is that it's gonna be in a hard way. If there's anything called hardest way, that's what it's gonna be. To be honest, because if you look at what is happening, you know that Buhari have succeeded. Buhari and his people. I mean the Buhari impostor, because the one that died, he doesn't want anybody to talk to him. He's just living a solitary life, you know. So what they have succeeded in doing is that they've succeeded in planting a lot of terrorists. Not just Nigerian ones, but the ones that they imported through visa on arrival. Our army, the army of Nigeria, the police, they've recruited all this in their core repentance, and they are in their millions now. And to make matter worse, Tinubu have signed the death warrant of every Nigerian. Do you understand? I'm telling you, because of power, because of what he will get, just for his own selfish interest. If you look at what is happening, the killings going on, you will see that Tinubu have never mentioned anything about all the killings going on since he took power.
That's what they have been doing, downplaying it, making it look like, you see, yeah, there are people being killed, but it's not that bad. It's managed. I mean, we have controlled it right now, which is not true.
Apart from him bribing the Fulani oligarchy, the Buhari and his family to get the power of Nigeria, to get the seat of power in Nigeria, there are a lot of things that he signed that is so deadly. Like one of them is this Fulani issue. He is signed with Buhari that he will not touch Fulanis. He will anything that they are doing. Have you seen any Fulani arrested?
No.
Or jail since he came into power?
No.
Or put on trial? Have you seen any one of them?
No.
Rather, Tinubu is supporting also this program of Operation Safe Corridor, because the army continue to recruit or say that recruit Boko Haram, or radicalizing them, telling Nigerians that they are repentant, that they are sent in their thousands, in their millions. Why the people that they've taken over their lands are still in the IGP camp, and they killing from Benue. In Benue every day they don't kill, they kill more than 50, 100.
From Plateau to Yobe, from Yobe to Adama, it's like a daily thing.
In everywhere, both in Enugu, they are killing every day.
You know, the border towns in Enugu, the Uzoawane people, the Hamufu people have been like, you know, killed on their farms, kidnapped, ransom paid, and even people got killed, like raped as well. This is
Mayegu, do you know that?
Well, yeah, they are
Mayegu,
protected.
do you know? Mayegu, do you know that in Yoruba land, Fulani are killing people in their hundreds every day? Do you know that?
And it's been so underreported as well for a reason best known because they
the
don't want
media
to look bad.
Exactly. The media are covering it up. You understand? They are only escalating the artificial insecurity in the southeast that they created. Just all their aim is to winch hunt IPOB, kill IPOB members, kill ESN members. That is all their target. And the people they are killing have never terrorized anybody. They have never gone to anybody's farm to kill them and take over their land, rename their land.
No.
These are the things that the Fulani terrorists and Boko Haram are doing. But no, all the army left the north, they are coming down to the east. Mayegu, the thing is that as long as Nigeria is going the way it is going, definitely all the people that are flying, they, you know, this time around, those people that call themselves rich elite, they go through, they fly through the air. But at the end of the day, they will come down. They will come down and see enter their car and go through the road. They can't remain in the sky forever, isn't it?
No.
So the insecurity will grow and grow to the extent that they too will be. It will be affecting them and their family one by one. You know, everybody will be tired, and then they will not call. They will not call for the division of Nigeria, either by force or by peace. It's going to happen. They are just kicking the can down the road. You know. Thank you, my good general. You are doing a wonderful job. I tell you. What I urge people, please, I beg, make that a share my good program. Share, make the entire sorrow, make their heart depend them, make it depend them. What my ego is doing is exposing them, putting the mirror in their face. Every day they will not sleep. They will may pretend as they like, they will not sleep. My ego general, God bless you. Let me just stop it here. Thank you, Temple of Truth. Yeah.
Stay safe,
and
man,
you too, Baba.
Prince JJ man, right there. So I have another caller, I believe. Hello there.
All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa.
All hail Biafra, all hail Oduduwa. Brother, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. You looking real wavy right now, man. The swag is on fleek.
Thank
you. Know, I love the outfit.
I meant every bit of it, and I'm glad that the statement is made. So thank you.
Yes.
Bless you, man.
Yes. So, yes. So basically, the incredible show today again. Is very, very disappointing to see this so-called man of God and things like that once again lie. You know, they tell you this are the commandments, thou shalt not lie, and all this nonsense that they preach, and yet they'll still go up and still lie, knowing that you can't hide the truth no longer. You have evidence stacked upon evidence of the mass killing, genocide that's happening, and yet they will still get up
this was supposed to be something that all these areas where these killings are taking place, bruv, they have representatives at the National Assembly, no doubt. And this is supposed to be something that the National Assembly should be investigating and at the same time rooting for the people from these communities, right? But that is not your business in that Nigeria National Assembly or whatever. That we have to sit down and watch how the American Congress have to listen attentively to the graphic description of what is going on in Nigeria from far away America. That's our situation.
Yes, but however, sadly, what the Americans are going to do is just listen, but they will not do anything because they are also part and parcel of the whole problem as well. And then their larky or their lapdog, Britain, is also, part of it where they respect, like, I guess, their sphere of influence, whatever you want to call it. I can't speak right today. So with all this happening, the only way that we can get our freedom is we pick up our arms and do the needful and start fighting back. That's the only way. Not praying, not talking for peace, not trying to see maybe they'll change their mind. None of that is going to happen. Yeah.
Nothing of
Yeah, none of that is going to happen. Yes, I mean, thank you for, keep desensitizing these people, and hopefully they'll wake up before it's too late. I mean, they're going to wake up, but we're trying to avoid as much bloodshed as possible of them becoming the victim. If the sooner they wake up, the better we can fight back. All hell Biafra, all hell do to our people. Please hit the like button. You can't. It can't be more than 2,000 people. There's only 500 likes. Come on, people.
I know.
Come on.
My people are so conservative when it comes to them giving out that like. So I am already so done for. Anyway, thanks so much for reminding them. All right. Yep. Enjoy the rest of your evening as well. There is another caller on the line. Hello.
Mayegu Baba.
Baba.
Good to have you again, my brother.
It's
long time, man.
Pleasure. Sorry, sir. Go on.
Hope you enjoyed your holiday.
Well, I did. Oh, thank you so much for asking. How are you?
You're welcome, my brother. Thank God. Thank God.
Grand.
And your family.
We thank God. Oh, I mean, we are grateful, sir, for everything. So thanks so much again for asking, sir. Please.
You're welcome, my brother.
So.
You see, remember I told you last time, I said, my advice is when people call, this guy is calling from America.
Yes.
And me and you, where we live, their orientation is different. When you talk about all this they scare them. So let's keep this on
the way, yeah, you're right. You're right. The way Americans see harm yourself, defend yourself is so kind of
it's different.
Easier than those who don't live in that climate. I get you.
Yes. So always remind them, because keep it activism. Because these people, this thing you do, my brother, it's not only people that are scared of this. Because when you take off when a child is sucking the mother's breast and you pull off the mouth, the child will shout.
Yes.
So all these are people, they earn from there. Their interests are there. You understand? The same thing was when Nnamdi Kanu was also in Europe. He was doing all this, and I was telling people, these people are not happy with all these things. So you see, all these arrests of Nnamdi Kanu, all these people, they arrange them. You understand?
I do.
Nigerian government cannot be able to put that kind of a stone. You understand? It's a setup, because for them, they scare them, because it's like taking out their mouth from the milk. You understand? Because this guy was exposing so many things that nobody even knew about. So that apart, I'm just trying to remind you, I beg, let's keep this thing on activism. I beg. I don't want you to have problem. I beg. I beg. I beg. Always remind them. I beg.
Right. Yeah. So that we can keep some things on the wrap while we do everything out of all the.
No, let's not talk. Let's not talk about this. Let's just keep it on activism. I beg. Let's just make our people know what's up. Let's just open their eyes to see that you have even as a citizen, you have the right to speak up when the rulers are not doing the right thing.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just say something about Akpabio. There is one thing I want you to understand, that Akpabio, if you remember, if you watch one video, there is one video you showed one time where Wike said that Akpabio gave him, I don't know how many billion. When he was for election.
Said what? Maybe I will remember.
Wike said Akpabio gave him, I don't know how many billion when he was running for election.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
There was,
I think I do.
So
this was in
if you look
2015. It was, yeah. Go on, Baba.
Yes. If you look at the Senate, the House of Rep, some of the governors, this guy, all these guys, they stole a lot of money that they can even, if they have if it's people that have brain, they can even influence election in African countries.
Yes.
Because they have so much money. So in the Senate,
somebody said something similar, that Nigeria is not a real place. Okay.
No.
The amount of money in the hands of these criminal politicians, governors and all of them,
my brother,
they can topple any government.
Yes. They have a lot of money. The
money they have looted, the amount of money they have looted from the system is actually a threat to national security if Nigeria was a real country.
Course.
But unfortunately, Nigeria is not real. Unfortunately, man.
Nigeria is not real. You see? And Akpabio, All these things he's doing is destabilizing. Like just like you said now, all those senators, all those House of Reps, some governors, they paid. Some of them they just bring them out and say they're going to be this one. They give them form and sponsor them.
That's it.
So they cannot challenge him. That's why you see some of them they are scared. Some cannot even speak. You understand?
I'm with you.
So these are the issues. Nobody can come against them. The same thing is with this Emilio. It's the same thing. You know?
Somebody that was giving Ghana must go money. I got a bag of money. It was giving them to people contesting election in northern Nigeria. That's why they are saying that they hold him a lot. People will travel to Lagos. Yeah. Tifnubu will say, take that bag of money. When you open it, you may see like maybe 40 million, 50 million naira cash. Raw cash in a bag. 100 million naira cash, bag of money. They'll say, give it to them. The first person that told me about Tifnubu and his what they call generosity is Sunday Igbo. Sunday Igbo once told me personally, and he said, Mayegun, you see these babas that you are looking at? There is no amount of money, right, that this baba cannot help anybody with.
My brother, it's not his money now.
House, and they take you into their inner room, like they want to send you a message. You will see money in dollars, in any currency that you've never seen before in raw cash.
Yes. You see,
I believe him.
Asari Dokudumb told you that Tinubu bought him a house.
He says the same thing too. Yeah.
Yes. He can even some Nollywood stars. He bought them houses. So he has been planning all these things. That's why nobody can come out to speak against him. They were
always believe that they hold him.
Yes. Like that. Because he has been planning to be president for a long time. And another thing I want to say again is, you see Jonathan, when, you know, Jonathan, why they removed him because, you know, all these people that has been ruling Nigeria, all of them, they work with these people. All of them, except Jonathan. You understand me?
I'm with you.
You see OBJ, I think, for me, I just, sometimes I sit down and analyze what is happening in Nigeria, my brother, it baffles me. OBJ, all these people, they were all working for them. OBJ's problem was when he after his second term, so he was he was trying to influence other elections in African countries. He became like a godfather. He tried to be that role. You understand? So he used to organize one of his this thing in London. So they know they were scared of him. They just used somebody. They just, you know, you see how they made him. So he's no more organizing that show now because they just put mic on the girl that one of his secretary, and the girl was saying that Baba used to do this. So they just play that video. Finish. Baba own. Finish. You understand now? So now Baba cannot influence anything they are doing. They just, my brother, it's I don't know how I can.
It's past that stage now, you will say. Anyway, Baba, thank you so much. Okay, let me take another one. Thanks so much for calling.
All right, brother. All right? Well done.
Here is another caller though on the line. Hello there.
Hello, MG.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, welcome back to UK.
Thank you so much. It's good to be back, though. How are you?
Yeah. Well, you're looking good tonight, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, anyway, MJ, I just want to use this platform now to just maybe I may stay about a couple of minutes.
Please.
It's about, on the floor. You know, when Asari Dokudumb was saying something about weak Igbos ruling Rivers State, I like the reaction you show up in it.
I mean, it came from his mouth, even though they are always like saying, I'm not Igbo, this and that. And we know why. So if that is coming from him now, apart from the sinister motive behind it, it's such a you know, like already known fact, but it's good to come from his mouth, you know?
Yeah, exactly. The way the reaction is just the body language, everything shows that these guys, right? You know, when the River State people, let's say the Iqueres, because they are the only one mostly that try to deny this identity in River State, the Igbo identity. There is the Obas, there is the Chairs. They don't have that much problem But because of the Queres is more close to the power, right? So they use it to intimidate the rest of them in that river state. Yeah, the Igbo part, not only, even Ogoni, some part of Ogoni itself, yeah, you can see Igbos there, they mix up as well. But because the Queres are mostly in the seat of power, they are close to the power, as Asari was saying, yeah, so they use it to intimidate the rest of Igbo clan there in that state. So now, Asari Dokudumb, the Igbos are coming up and saying that they are majority in River State. And they know the reason why they are saying that. Yeah, the reason why they are saying it now, because if all the Igbo clan in River State, right, said, accept they are Igbos, they are majority in River State.
There will be.
They are they are majorities. But because of Ikweres try to, I don't know whether they are
identity crisis as well, where it's, it's pretty much like people know who they are, but for political leverage, political exigencies, they will deny it.
They will deny it, yeah. And the Queres is too much to them. They are denying it, and they are making the rest like, don't even say it. Because if not, the little ones you're getting, you will not get it. I mean, the Igbo clan, not the Ijaws or the, other tribe, in that river state. Okay, that's one. Then you come to Delta State. The same thing happened. The worst people, because you said that you can be Ijabo and you can be Yoruba at the same time.
I'm an Ijebu man, and I'm also a Yoruba man. What is wrong in that? It's like me saying I'm an Ijebu man. No, I'm not Yoruba. I'm not Yoruba. I'm Ijebu. Like, come on, calm down, man.
It's calm down. The funny thing, they bear the Igbo name.
Are you sure
right?
You've not lost your identity this way, Mayegu? You are Ijebu or you are not Yoruba. Are you okay? Even people like you ask me, like, are you all right, man? You okay? I say, I'm okay. I'm okay. No, you're not okay, man.
Yeah, but the issue is that it's not, even those ones that saying that you lost your identity, they know what you're saying. They understand. They know what it is.
They do.
Because I know where I'm heading to, right? I'm going to take a bit of, let's say, 5 minutes. Yeah. So then, in this Delta State, the people that is like, they are like the Ikweres in River State, is this so-called Igbos, the Ekas, and the Okwane, right? The rest of Delta states, I mean the Igbo clan in Delta State, they are not that, we are not Igbo. Let's say the Aniomas, the Shiminis, you know what I mean? They are not really, they are not into like denying it that much because that is so obvious. But the Igbos, the Ekas, right, the Igbos, and the Okwane, and this Okwane is not that they are big. They are under the mad one. They are going to the more mad level. Like, we are not Igbos, don't even mention it. Right? And because of the same thing that happened, the political privileges, they are the ones, they are close to the power. If you go throughout the Delta State history, it's most of the powers is just from the Ekas. They are really the ones that, moving around the power. So they use it as well to, intimidate the rest of the Igbo clan there, because they will not say it, intimidate them like, we are this, we are the Ekas, we are not the Igbos, you can be whatever, but we are Ekas, and don't even mention that we are Igbo. Okwane, we said, no, we are Okwane, don't mention, you are Okwane. Okwane is Igbo language, right? Okwane, that name Okwane is Igbo, it's just Igbo. Right, but they will keep on saying this ignorantly or knowing what they are talking about.
Because I wouldn't say ignorantly, because if we all check out the history from how that started, it never used to be like that, historically.
It never used to be. Even before the war.
In such a way that they are proud of their heritage. Then the genocidal war happened. And then what happened
even before the war. After the war,
you get?
Exactly. Yeah.
Go on, sir.
Now, okay. This in Delta State, when the Okwanis and the Ekas, which is the Abo, mostly is the Abos, they are a mad one on that. We are not Igbos. When they are going through when they are saying all these things, then you call them and ask them, who is this Igbos you people are talking? Because now I'm talking about in 5 states, in this so-called 5 states of Eastern Nigeria, right? the Igbos, those Igbo people there, these people they call Igbos. If you come, for instance, in Imo State, right? Imo State, this is where I come from.
Right.
In Imo State, they used to say in every 1 kilometer, the language change. And this is not only in Imo State, the whole so-called five eastern states.
Different dialects.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Right?
Yeah, or in the whole, not only in Imo State, in Anambra, Abia, Imo, Ebonyi, Enugu State, in every 1 kilometer, you know what 1 kilometer, you know how far it is. It's not even nothing. But every 1 kilometer, the dialects change. Each of these states is not only, you can't come to Imo State now and say, these people are majority in Imo State. No. And because of Igbos, what we always say that Igbos are Republican in nature, right? They have their own little nations in all these states, which have even the culture diverse, where the culture diverse. Some of the cultures in the same state, which is the different, is 1 kilometer, there is different thing, the different way, even the food they eat, the culture change. But because of, for us to understand each other, right? All the Igbo nations, not now, this is not now only in 5 states in Igbo, both the ones in Delta. That's why that Igbo language come up, that Igbo that everybody like speak.
Yeah.
So which is in reality, nobody is this Igbo.
From the speech where people are speaking that same Igbo,
yeah,
somebody like myself may never be able to differentiate the dialect. But you, as an Igbo man, when somebody who is an Igbo from Imo is speaking Igbo, or somebody from Anambra is speaking it, you can easily tell that they are not from the same place.
Even Anambra you're talking about,
yeah.
If Anambra have more than, if I'm not mistaken, I'm stand to be correct, more than 100 dialects inside Anambra State.
You see? So that is what they banked on, right? When they were doing this remapping, creating states and cutting people into minority, the Igbos into minority in some of these other majority states, right? So that they can easily say, well, our dialect is not the same, even though we sort of have so much in common. So I'm not Igbo. No. I'm not Igbo then.
But you don't have that. We don't have that in this so-called five eastern states. Nobody is disputing that, like saying our language. We understand it. We understand a little bit, but the issue, and we are not upset. We happily say that we are Igbos, both Anambra, Enugu, whatever. It's just because I don't know whether it's natural resources, you know, which the thought is not in the five states in Imo. Yeah. Because you have been teaching people here, letting them know there is natural resources in Imo State. There is natural resources in Anambra State.
There is no state in Igbo land that doesn't have any of these natural resources.
It's in reserve. It's even in reserve. It's not even start. They haven't even started, taking them. It's just in reserve. You understand? Anambra, Imo State, Abia State, Ebonyi State, Enugu State.
Abia State, Imo State has the largest deposit of liquid natural gas in the entire Africa.
Gas.
You know what I mean?
Which is not even started. They haven't even started.
Into it yet, okay? The same Imo State also have their own oil reserves, crude oil. Similarly, in Anambra, in Abia, is also an oil producing state as well with oil blocks. They currently pegged them. Capped them due to some litigation here and there. So when people talk about the Igbos are coming to claim Niger Delta because of our oil, I'm like, political correctness and political. See, all this blind, rhetorics pushed by politicians for decades.
Yeah, no, it's good. Really, somebody like you is educating everybody. It's we having you around, because a lot of people know this, and they die off with it. They don't even try to teach people.
This, I get you.
They don't want to share it. If you go to Enugu, I remember when we growing up, there's something we call kabat. You know what? I don't know the name.
The thing they always get from this, I think disposed of batteries or something, right?
Batteries, the one when you put water on it, it starts like foaming hot, heating.
in Enugu State. Yeah, Enugu State.
Yep.
You're talking about code. That's what everybody knows about. That carbad is like a chipping in Enugu State. Chipping. Chinese are mining it as we are talking now. Chinese people are mining that every day. Even it's one of the problems that causing in this was one place because that's what they have higher deposit of it. All these problems, this Fulani they are using to chase people away from that. But it's good we let people know about all this. It's because of this one, all these places, all Fulanis are disturbing. Because the code is not in the morning now. The Chinese people,
where terrorism is.
That's what they're using to chase people out. If you go there, that bad is like you just dig the floor, you get it, and then they're just using it, and people just still talking bullshit. I pity for this, my brothers in Ikwere, and what Ijo people want to try to show them now, whether they like it or not, they're gonna count them as minority. Unless they come together and say, okay, we are Igbo. If they say they are Igbos, both in Delta State, both in the River State, they are majorities. Igbos are majority in Delta, Igbos are majority in River State. If they are together, but because they try to...
identity crisis, right?
This identity crisis is disturbing them, and they don't even know the harm they are doing to themselves. They thought they are doing to people. They're harming themselves, But anyway, thank you for the space.
For that historical journey that we just went together there, okay? Thanks a lot, okay? Enjoy
All
the rest
right,
of
brother.
your evening as well.
Take care, yeah. Thank you. No worries. I appreciate the time you gave to me, okay?
Bless you, sir. Take
All
care,
right.
So I have another call on the line. I bet this is MOG. Now, I'm going to say MOG should hang in there for me for a sec. I want to implore you, viewers, brethren in the temple, right? The reason why the phone-in segment is on this, on this platform is to allow other people like yourself, okay, to contribute whatever you think is a missing link in whatever is shared, and you, even if you don't agree with what is being said on this platform, your opportunity is to grab that phone and call in and make your own correction where necessary or addition to whatever information shared there so far. So meanwhile, we only have just about 20 minutes to go, less than 20 minutes to go. But if you want to be part of this, remember, you just have to pick up your phone and call in. And also, if you haven't really liked the broadcast, I implore you to please like the broadcast and share it. This is MOG, brethren. Hello.
Hello, good evening, my group.
Good evening to you, sir. How are you?
I don't have much. Fine. I don't have much to say. I just want to go to River State a little bit.
Please.
And I just want to, if it's an advice or maybe warning, I want to, maybe they said someone that is inside the field is not seeing the game very well. It's people that are outside that are seeing the game. Wike is a devil. Wike want to die, and he want people to die with him. Because if you watch Wike, Wike is going down. And from this last interview, all those people watching Wike, I believe they will hear, they are watching you, they will hear this voice, I'm not a prophet, but I watch closely to Wike. I watched that interview like 2 times. Wike is bitter, and Wike is dying. And those people, if they don't take time, they will die with him. Also, another man will bring their children up. And if you watch the Amewule is in the middle of dark blue sea. He's confused. Look at his face, full stressed. So he don't know if he's going to make decision like a man and say, no, let me live my life this way. I'm following this man. I don't know what the outcome will come. But Wike had said a very bad word that is no more politics. People are not seeing it as politics anymore. For him to mention, to separate people in River State, all those people that had hope that they are together.
What was supposed to be a political disagreement to now tribalize it by saying it's ridiculous. Get you.
You know that word Wike used. My father told me this about this thing. My father used to use that word during those Kaburu that time. He said minorities, a job minorities. They always call this minority, and that minority word in Rivers State is it's not a good word. It's a very big problem. So for Wike to use it to tell that Wike is already blind, he's heading to hell. He's already the dead man. He want to take some blood and wait and go home with. But then let's forget about Amewule. Listen and leave Wike and get your life back. Forget about money.
You can't.
See, this issue of Fulani issue, you can see that from President Man, it's like Tinubu signed something, because during the election time, they slowed down. When there was like twin tribunal, P2B, they are dragging it. Nobody had any killing anywhere, no attack, unlike the way they were doing it during Bokohari. Now you can see they are now uprooting crops again from farmers, and they are making videos laughing that they are humiliating people. They are saying that nobody's going to do anything to them. They have the right to do it. They have power to do it. They travel miles away, thousands of kilometers away, and they have full confidence in doing it. And they resume again attack in Enugu State, which they stopped for a long time. Now they start again. So all these Igbo governors, all these Igbo senators, all this one, forget about politics. Put your things together. They are killing your people. Those you have 2, 3 children, your wife are not the only family you have. They can kill anybody at any time. That's what I want to say, Maya Good. They should put themselves together and do something about it. Thank you so much.
God bless you, sir. And thank you so much for calling in again, MOG. Let me take this. Yeah.
And hello. They should put themselves together and do something about it.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Michael. Yeah, good evening.
My lady, good evening, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, Michael, and you?
Very well, ma'am. Thank you for asking.
Right.
Please.
All right. Michael, I just want to, there's something that is bothering you that I just feel that people are falling into for. I just want to ask you a brief question.
Please.
Do you believe that El-Rufai is actually not with Tinubu? Do you actually believe so?
I don't believe.
I don't believe.
That's what I'm
trying to tell you now.
Is finding it so difficult that they are not actually plotting something. You know, and I've stated it on this platform a few times. I said, with the role they played, especially bringing about this is Muslim ticket that further polarized the contraption as we have seen it so far. I don't think suddenly he will want to support an infidel, in quote, or infidel, to come and chase away the Muslim. So something tells me that they are playing a long game.
They are playing a game. Yeah, that's what I want to say. That's just what I want to say.
Go on, man.
El-Rufai is still with Tinubu. There is nothing they can tell me about it. I believe this. Because just like I always say whenever I come around here, Tinubu he's the man that carries out a long-time project. If Tinubu wants to strike in the next 10 years, he will start from today. He studied the Northerners and borrowed their pattern and added his own. Because he's always, if you watch the way he operates even as a president, you know that he operates like an underdog. Whatever he wants to get, he goes like an underdog, pretends as if he doesn't know what he's doing, and he will carry out his mission. So if those of them that are thinking that El-Rufai is not with this guy, I don't believe all these things are planned out, something that has been mapped out. Even immediately they won that election. Immediately they won that. All these ones are saying that
you know what somebody said. Immediately they declared him as winner.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The plot for 2027 be gone.
If you watch Tinubu's pattern, you'll find out that he's not a man that does business with people without settling them. So there's no way, according to his pattern, there's no way he will just back El-Rufai like that. He goes by history. Everybody that he has worked with, he has been working with them. So there's no way he will just turn back on El-Rufai like that. So they know the game they are playing. To me, I 100% believe that El-Rufai is just a stooge working for Tinubu to destroy whatever, because he's looking for a handover in 2031. So he knows what he's doing. That is my own belief.
And you may not be wrong. See, I told people myself, I said, you know, as humans, right, we have every right to be wrong. But you have to take a position first before you can be sure if you are right or wrong. You may not be wrong, man. You may not be wrong. Because we have seen these guys and we know what they are capable of doing.
Yes, that's the game they've been playing. In fact, this 2027, this 2027 election, if they want to continue, they must trade with caution because every party in this 20 will have 98% skewed in them. It's only few that will be the real people. I'm just telling you,
are not far from the truth, ma'am, because it's already established, right? It is established that it's established that all these other political parties, they have 1 or 2, 3 people who are there representing Tifnumbu. So, except they go and even if they want to go and start a new political party, those who are going to join them in forming this new party, they are also Tifnumbu's guys.
They're all huge. Yes, they're all huge. The only problem we have, you know, this River States, whatever crisis they have, will determine a lot. I just pray that the Igbos will not hold back. Honestly, I'm not praying. Nobody's praying for bad, but I don't want the Igbos to hold back. I want them to stand so that center can be divided. I want them to push back because if they conquer that River State, they will continue to conquer every other state.
You know.
They will continue to conquer every other state. And Wike, to me, Wike is a finished man. It's just this thing is just a 50-50 chance. We are waiting for now. Let's know what is the next action. And that's what I just want to throw in and nothing more. Thank you.
I love it. See, I actually love every bit of your take, and I've always loved your take, right? The perspective from which you always see things always gives us like, you know, it's sort of like broaden the conversation. And I'm glad that
these people are terrible.
Thank you so much.
They are terrible. All right, thank you.
You have a very good one, ma'am. Here is another caller. Hello, sir. Can you hear me? And you have actually really tried so much. And the time I pick your call right now seems to be a wrong time as the network won't connect you. So sorry. Let's try it again, okay? Well, let me take this. Hello there.
Yeah, Baba MG, hello.
Baba, sir. How are you doing, sir?
Fine, thank God. Unfortunately, I was unable to make it down to America. I have to.
So I was like, I was looking forward to either running into you on that same day on our way to the US. I was like, I would likely run into you either at the airport or somewhere, but that didn't happen. Then I never heard from you again. How are you doing, though?
Yeah, not bad, really. I had a call from Nigeria. My mom very sick, so I have to divert my ticket and go to Nigeria. So, but she's getting better anyway. Yeah, she's fine. She's getting better. Yeah, you know, that's the only person I have now. My daddy has died over 30 years ago, so I have to take.
I mean, I wish I still have mine. You know, I would divert any sort of traffic down to see her, honestly. But yeah, I'm glad that she's fine, though.
She's gonna be 95 this year, though.
Wow.
And yeah, she's still kicking fine. And you know, that's the only thing we can give them at the time.
Because you know, bless you, sir. Anyway, I'm glad that she's fine.
Okay,
you are also fine.
Yeah, thank God. Back to business. Yes,
sir.
You see, looking at the scenario playing by these politicians in Nigeria, my brother, like what you say, that break it down and save life. I can tell you categorically that the whole part and the whole section of Nigeria has been corrupted to the bone marrow. Even the bone marrow, I don't think there's any marrow left in the bone again. Because
compromised.
That is not corrupt. Even the pregnant woman, the baby inside the fetus is corrupted already. And these 2 weeks I spent in Nigeria, it's as if every day things are going from bad to worse. You know, look at what is happening in the National Assembly, in the House of Rep, and all this sort of thing. those people in these houses, these three arms of government, they are billionaires, if they are not trillionaires. So they can even, if all these people, if they squeeze them, the money being owed by Nigeria, about 3 or 4 of them can pay it out without sweat. You see, and looking at the way our people are reacting, this Stockholm syndrome mentality has it. People, you know, people are so gullible. The pastors will slap them, and you see, they will say, "Let's pray for them." I was telling somebody, you know, when I was going from Lagos to Ondo State, and this, when we were in the bus, because I like taking public transport for a reason well known to me, you know. And this woman was just saying, when they are talking about God, then I don't even know what happened. I said, God cannot save you. Because you are praying against the devil, but you saw this devil. This is the devil here, right in your front, slapping your face, taking your money, taking your lives, and you are saying you are praying. Which God is that? God has already blessed you. He gave you free air, free water, free everything. And somebody is playing on your brain, and you saw it, and you are saying, God, you just like opening your door, and you are saying, I said, this is, he said, money, Baba, money, the best thing is for you. Go and be Babalawu. And the man just flare up money, yeah, I got you. You are a very stupid man. I'm very stupid, you know.
Like I've
and
touched
you
some
know,
nerves there. I would say, oh, I must have touched some nerves there. You angry?
Yeah. So at the end of when I keep talking, some guy just joined me up, some women, they say, yeah, Baba, so that what I'm saying is true. You see, and when I look back and I get down from at my station, one of the men just waved to me, said, I don't think you are from this country. I said, what do you mean I'm not from this country? He said, the way you talk. And when I got home, as I was going, I just said, thank God I met this man. God bless you, brother.
Baba,
God bless you.
Thank you so much for being a very, very worthy ambassador out there. And I want all of us to be like this. Because sometimes, right, people's ignorance is intentional. People are not stupid, but they can choose to be. And once in a while like this, we should say it to their faces and stop mocking God. God is not going to come down and do anything. You cannot be dining and whining with the devil, right? And at the same time, pretending that you have to travel thousands of miles away to Saudi Arabia to go and stone a devil when you are actually whining and dining with it in Nigeria. And who are the devil? They are physical. They are not spiritual. Nigeria problem is not spiritual. It is physical. We know those who are behind it. So people should begin to actually hold them responsible, not with the idea of anybody. No lie. Papa, thank you so much. And welcome back. All right.
Thank you, Baba. It's just playing psychology. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Now, so I'm just going to take one more and call it a night. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, Baba.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. God bless.
You too.
Yeah.
So I have one more caller, or should I say one call to take, and then we can call it a night due to the fact that I used about 5 to 6 minutes of our time from the call-in, right? So yeah, I'm going to say it once more. If you haven't really liked the broadcast at this point, please do, okay? If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do. Right? Thank you. Here is my caller. Hello there.
My good general.
Yes,
my good Baba.
How are you?
Welcome. Fine. Welcome back from Yankee, man.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much, Baba.
My good, my call is not long ago, so please you can give one person else. I just want to drop one question.
Quickly.
There was an interview that went on. I don't know whether it's on Arise or Channels News where Femi Adesina came on live and said, if we don't do this Ruga, they will come and do what they are doing now.
and they are doing it now. If, let me pick your words, if Nigeria was a real country, wouldn't they have picked up Femi Adesina by now to answer where he got those information he was saying on live television that day? That if, I'm very sure he said if they don't give these people land, we should be ready for the outcome that is going to come.
Yes.
If Nigeria was a real country, they would have picked him up.
He was a
Mayego
presidential
Baba.
spokesperson when he said it as well.
Yes, exactly.
He said your land or your life.
Yes, or your life.
Which
those
one?
were correct.
He said your land or your life. And if you don't want to give up your land, then you continue to deal with the attack and the killings. That's how he said it. I'm going to look for that video.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing happened to him.
He said it.
He's a Yoruba man.
Please look for that video.
I know.
He said it live. And now we're behaving like fools. All of us in this country.
Honestly.
We're all behaving like fools. Because somebody said it. Now they've entered. That time they don't even come to the south. They have not come to the south. Now they're in Enugu, they're in the east, they're in the west, southwest. They've been in Edo State. Are we going to continue losing our
life? What they are doing in Edo State as well right now. It's just that the video I saw of the attacks in Edo State, right, was that of the very gory one, very bloody. I can't use it. That's why I haven't. But I'm going to actually develop a story on it to bring it to the notice of everyone. The same way they are attacking people in Enugu is the same way they are violently, ferociously attacking people in Edo State as we speak. I'm talking about piles of audio. Like they are killing people like almost every day right now as you're watching this video in Edo State.
And the media have instructions not to report it. The media has instructions. If we don't have people like you, I've not heard this, I don't want to. If we don't have people like you that get super information and bring it to us, I stay awake 9 o'clock. Only Real Madrid can disturb my Mayegu. Okay. Apart from Real Madrid, nothing else. I must watch my Mayegu and get all the information.
I'm glad that you did. Okay, I'm trying to see which of the clip. So.
Security to
I will look for that particular clip, okay? I will, and I will share it with people here where indeed he said it. Thank you so much, Baba.
Yes.
Since we are managing the time, right? Let me take this one and make it the last one, okay?
All right.
God bless you, Baba. Thank you so much, okay?
Yeah.
And I think this is Osita. Osita.
Yes, my brother. One name
the number. Osita.
Kejagamba. That is what you are. Everything that has to do with lion is present inside you.
Tell them. Yes.
Yeah.
Osita is one big bro that is my hype man, and I respect him a lot. Osita. How are you doing today, sir?
Great, sir, and God bless you for everything that you do. At least, if not anything, you empower people with the truth so that they can run along with it. You know, I just wanted to say something. There was a previous caller that said we should tone things down. But I have to disagree respectfully in the sense that there is a saying in our common broken English: you talk, you die. You talk, you don't die. All die, now die.
That you talk, you die. If you don't talk, you die. Why don't you just talk and die?
Why just talk and then nobody's going to be happy that it's only when Nigeria has not happened to you, when it does not happen to you, that you will keep quiet and say, oh, let's just do this thing in the face of activism. No. The issue about
let's keep it that way and let's try and politically correct and all that. I get it.
The issue about the contraption is beyond activism. Like when I speak in public and people are asking me, oh, are you an activist? I say, oh, no, I'm not an activist. I'm freedom fighter. The freedom fighter is different from the activist.
That's right.
The activist could turn around to become a politician tomorrow, but I cannot be a politician. The freedom fighter don't have that dream of being a politician.
No.
So
and they don't need people. They don't have stomach for fancy words. They just
for fancy words. they say the way it is. So I need people, and I in this generation where we are, we actually need people who could confront issues. If not confronting the issues, at least say something. Because if you keep saying something with fears, I use Nnamdi Kanu as an example. I tell people, they said, oh, they want to break him down. I said, yes, I know they want to break him down. But the truth is that the guy is not giving in because of he was born for such a time as this. Somebody will say, you want him to die there? I said he's not going to die there. But even if it has happened, he was born for such a time as this. This is his calling.
Do you know, I was thinking about him last night after my program, and I actually had to think of him even till I went to bed, right? And I was like, oh, more. Nigeria has been after Nnamdi Kanu for 10 years now. That means 10 years of this man not having the full attention or given the full attention to his own children, sacrificed all of that for a greater goal, a greater challenge. And in the, at the home front, right, where Nigeria is currently, doing everything, okay, to keep him away. And he's not budging. I read it somewhere where they said, if today Nnamdi Kanu, renounce Biafra struggle, he will be a free man. He can walk out there and just go and be whatever he wants to be. So 10 years has been stolen from the lives of his own children and family. And that's some huge sacrifice any man can make in his, for his own conviction. So the reason why they can't break him anymore is because, Baba, like you said, is probably born for this era, born for this purpose.
Yes, that was the
purpose.
Some
huge sacrifice there, Osita. 10 years.
Some of us are Christians, but sometimes we don't even look at the Bible where the Bible says that many are called, but chosen are few.
Yep.
Many. All of us are called. But the truth is that we thought it's all about wearing blazers, wearing suits and tie, and to address your situation with the white man how it is. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Like you said, you just studied on your program here that the only language that these people will understand is fire for fire.
It is.
It's violence for violence. That's the only thing that can make them back down. We have from 1960 that Nigeria has been talking, Nigerians have been talking, nothing has changed. Instead of something changing, it gets worse. Everybody saw it. I used to say it. I say it times and times and times again. The only man that stood up to these people all his life, and everybody saw it, was Gani Fawemi. In my presence, he uses my school, the school I went to, my college, my school. That's what he uses whenever he's. So when we come out from that our father to Yaba, the armor tank was there. They brought the armor tank, and when the armor tank faces down, it is shoot. And they brought it down. It was shoot, and this man was in the front of everybody. He held his ground. He was telling them to shoot. So that's to tell you that he is not just an activist, he's a freedom fighter. And that is what we all need to face when we are doing this thing. If we think it's all about
these are mean men who have no human what have you, so they've radicalized us. There's no point in pretending about it anymore.
Yeah. If you think it's gentility, we will not get our desired result. Even the Bible says it. It said right from the day of John the Baptist, the kingdom of God suffered violence. Violence taken by force.
That's right.
A lot of Christians are here. So we won't say that, because somebody came up here and said, that we have to take up arms. After all, one of them, the one that owns that owns most of the oil block in Nigeria, he came out and he said people should arm themselves. So why, when that one said that, why wouldn't I be able to say it? Yes. When that one said that, why wouldn't I be able to say it as well? Or will I be in my house and somebody will come there and just strangulate me and I'll be looking? No, it won't work that way. Let us not confront these lions. You don't confront lions with bare hand.
No.
You don't.
You don't approach a sword man with a prose or poem.
Exactly. So let's what I do mostly, if I see somebody who is speaking out, if I see somebody who's ready to fight for his people, if I see somebody who has the voice, like you do now, you have the voice here that a lot of people draw inspiration from, I will give you the maximum support that I can give to you. That is what I do. So we are not here to start, even when we are doing what we are doing, but we are cautious of our own security as well. That is something I need people to understand. Thank you very much, my brother.
Osita, God bless you, sir. As always, okay? Thanks so much for calling in. And our time is now kind of like stretched out. I'm so sorry if you are on the line and you can't get through anymore, okay? We have come to the end of the broadcast. I do have a personal request, but I just don't know how and where to start. But one of them is the fact that I do need some level of improvement in this, in this studio to further make this work possibly, far-reaching as well. Okay, so I want to say a big thank you to those of you who have always been supporting the platform, Mayegun's Diary Political, with your own widow's might. Okay. I intend to possibly solicit for your support genuinely this time and raise enough fund to help further, perfect whatever has been done inside this room, okay? But until then, I want to say a very big thank you to all of you for always. Thanks so much for tonight. The callers, the super chatters, the commenters, the sharers, even the new subscribers too. Thank you. I'm going to see you again when I see you probably tomorrow. So remember, before you leave this platform, like the broadcast. If you have enjoyed this chat tonight, okay, like the broadcast. And I'm going to see you again tomorrow. And good night from here.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun Diary, Diary Political. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn rákì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn àníyàn súnra kì ijó ìgbádìyẹ àníyàn súnra kì pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o àníyàn súnra kí gómìnà kówó jẹ àníyàn súnra ọlọ́pàá tí ń gba rìbá àníyàn súnra aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o àníyàn súnra òkúrọ̀ olóṣèlú àníyàn súnra ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì àníyàn súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Ìmọ̀ àìṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe fẹ̀. Ìmọ̀ àìṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣà ìtú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.